All right. And we're live.
Take it away. Welcome to the Not a Burger TV podcast. My name is Dave.
I'm Robbie.
And we are...
Not a Burger TV.
Yeah, we are Not a Burger TV. We're also craving M&Ms.
Yeah.
And hardcore drugs. And Coca-Cola. And Monster Energy drink.
All right.
It's miserable outside.
Oh, it's been, I think, the hottest.
No, I mean the rain. I almost died on the way over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I missed the turn and I made a U and I hit the curb really hard because my car is very low. And luckily the front end has been hit so many times that it's like not a big deal. The body kit or whatever. It's probably 20 years old, so who cares? But yeah, that was exciting. Every time it makes a loud noise, everybody's like, oh, "What happened?"
At least you're not.
It's totally fine.
It's not like you're hitting something. You look back. Did I lose a bumper this time?
Yeah, no, something's dragging. Is that my muffler?
My brother, he had like this exhaust pipe, aftermarket exhaust pipe that he bought off of somebody, I think from like Craigslist.
Yeah.
And had it.
I'm sure that turned out.
Had it welded onto his car.
Oh, okay, at least he did it right.
And he had it done properly. But on the drive from Miami back to Orlando, I guess that he was driving, and all of a sudden he hears a pop.
Uh-oh.
And the
ring.
The kind of like a silencer, I guess it kind of
there's
kind
like
of muffles it a little bit.
Yeah, there's a hanging ring, and then there's probably like some kind of rubber bumper damper around it.
Apparently that shot out. Ooh. And he sees it bouncing in his rearview mirror down
the street,
down 95, and his exhaust goes from "Bah, bah."
Yeah, it's like just rattling like high speed.
He got pulled over. I think he said like 3 times.
Jeez,
just because it's like, no, it literally just happened. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's terrible. Did you see that video that just came out of that semi truck wheel bouncing down the highway and then it hits a car head on? Yeah, that's terrifying.
That was a Jeep Wrangler. It bounced around. I saw the headlights. I was like, oh, don't hit the Jeep. Boom!
Yeah, and it just like, you can't imagine the kind of force that, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's small, but
no,
the amount of, first of all, the momentum and the weight that it has to have just to continue going.
I mean,
bouncing.
Exactly, it was bouncing around on the highway, going one direction, and it was keeping up with traffic,
and it went over the guard and was fine after still going.
The traffic, coming against say
they have no idea. They're just like,
they're both going 65 miles an hour. I doubt it was going 65 miles. Let's say the wheel was going 50 miles an hour. Person in the Jeep Wrangler was going 70 miles an hour. Those two colliding.
Yeah, it was like an explosion. I didn't see the beginning of the video where it came off the car.
I didn't see that either. I just caught the part where it was bouncing and then hit the Wrangler.
Yeah, I can't imagine what happened to the car came off of too, because he's probably going 65 and then all of a sudden down on.
I saw something similar like that when I was actually visiting Miami. I was visiting my family down there. This was years and years ago. I saw like there was a car that was like it was wobbling.
Kind of slow down.
Exactly, and every time and now every time I see cars that drive like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get wide around you because of what happened. I saw somebody wobbling, and next thing I know, my parents pass them. I look back, and the wheel just goes. Woof. That's some scary stuff, man.
It happens more than you think. Like when I worked on the car, well, it didn't. I was on the sales counter, but I worked in an auto shop for 4 years, and people just forget to tighten things tight enough, or one guy will pass a job off to another guy and leave out some crucial step and not tell the guy who took over after him.
That's ridiculous.
And then the second guy will lose his job because he signed off on that car, let it go without the oil cap or without something that's going to just completely demolish the car.
Right, exactly.
But even worse than that, people came in and they would have literally brakes that are you can't even fathom how they're still functioning. There's nothing left.
You just hear that metal on metal grinding.
So you know what a rotor looks like, right? Yeah. It's like a top hat made out of metal and it has holes for your lugs. And it was so worn through that it was worn all the way through. There was a ring worn all the way through around it. Man. And I was like, well, this is what your brake looks like. Here's how much it will be.
What you should have done is here's what a brake should look like.
Here's the rest of it. Yeah.
Here's yours.
Yeah, it's terrible. So I was like, this is what your brake looks like. And I just assumed he was going to do it. First of all, in sales, you just assume the sale or whatever. But I was like, and here's how much it costs. And he's like, no, I'm good. And I was like, are you serious? I think
there should be a thing that you legally cannot let them leave.
In a lot of states, they have that, just not in our state, Florida. There's inspections or whatever, and if they leave with something like that, you can just pull their sticker, and you're like, you're not street legal, like you're gonna kill somebody. So what I said to the guy was, which way do you drive home? And
yeah, exactly.
Like, that way, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go that way.
The other way, yeah.
That's a joke that people say, but it was literally one of those situations. And I've had people come back afterwards and say, last time I was here, you told me to get this thing, and I didn't listen, and then this and this and this happened to me.
Then my car blew up.
And you were totally right, and now please do get me. Now that I'm in on the tow truck, it'll cost twice as much. Like, okay, sorry.
God.
But yeah, it's terrible. It's terrifying. People just mind their own business, and then all of a sudden, a comet from the heavens hit them full speed. I always wonder what the aftermath is on those videos. There's so many videos where you see somebody like drop a tree trimmer while they're cutting the tree, and it looks like they're gonna get cut in half, and you're just like, what's the follow up? What's the conclusion? Like, I have to know what happened to these people.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
No.
But yeah, it wasn't that bad. It was just scary. I made probably 3 U-turns. I've been here enough times, but when it's like rainy and it's dark and I'm kind of trying to read the street signs, I'm like, I don't know.
Because you're an old man.
Well, okay. There's 3 stages. I have to GPS every time because I haven't been there enough.
Yeah.
I can pretty much do it, by sight, or I know it by heart. And when I'm in the middle, the only way to get to stage 3... You're at the middle right now? Yeah. The only way to get to stage 3 is to stop using the GPS. So you have to, you have to commit. It's like learning a phone number. If you just save it in your cell phone, you're never going to know it.
Yes. I've relied on cell phones, storing phone numbers for so long. I think the only numbers that I remember...
Your significant other and yourself.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Your parents.
I don't even know Kate's phone number. Sorry, Kate.
Your work, because you usually give it away when people ask for it.
I don't have a work number.
Yeah,
I have a work cell phone number. Mm-hmm. I don't even know that. I have a Post-it on my laptop that has my work phone number, that when they're like, for this deployment, can we call you? Yeah, hold on. And I give them that phone number. But
can we just, what's it called when you like bump 2 phones
together? Yeah, bump them. No, I remember my parents' phone number. Both my parents' phone number. I have
the house we grew up.
Exactly. I have the house number that we grew up stuck in there, and I think I have like my high school girlfriend's phone number.
That's weird.
Yes, I still have her phone number stuck in my head. Holy crap!
I'm always afraid to like get a new phone and change my number, because I'm like, all those people who want to call me, they won't be able to call me, but.
Yeah, well,
nobody calls me. It's like,
I've had the same phone number since
Razors.
Eighth. Not eighth grade. Since about 10th grade, because I had the old Nokia soap bar phone.
Oh yeah, the bulletproof brick.
Yeah, and my parents gave me. It was me and my brother were supposed to share that phone because we would go out skateboarding, and she'd be like, "Well, I
appreciate that your parents like forced scarcity on you just to teach you."
Yeah, so they gave it to us, and my mom was like, "Just keep it in your backpack. Do not take it out. When you guys go out skateboarding, make sure it's on." So I was like, "All right, cool." So we kept it on. But then when I got old enough, she got my brother his own phone, and I kept that same phone number. So I've had that same phone number, like I said, since like 10th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. I think it was 10th grade. And I run into people on the streets. Like I actually ran into one of my buddies at Guitar Center. He's like, "Oh man, we do the typical thing like you and I used to do. Oh yeah, we should get together." Blah blah. Right. Never do. But
it's just part of being an adult.
But he was like, "Oh yeah, give me your phone number." He starts entering my phone number, and it's right there. It says Robbie.
I've been through that with Fabian. Multiple people I run into. I'm like, "Is your number still this?" Yeah. And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm still not going to call it." But I mean, not that I don't like the guy. I like the guy a lot.
Right.
We just never really had that like relationship. It always happens to me with friends of friends. If I'm around friends of friends a lot, we're like cool, but we're not like, "Hey, you want to hang out?" Cool.
And when it's always friends of friends, it's either one of 2 things. If it's friends from like an ex, they kind of do this. Give it that double look. Do that double take, and then look immediately away. And then I know what they're doing. They're gonna text them because they get a text message.
I'm a mom.
Exactly. And then or I'll get the if I run into somebody that I like, a friend of a friend, they'll do a double take.
Sorry.
Yeah, they'll do like a double take, and I kind of like look like squint, and like, and we kind of like give it that little, we kind of give it that little acknowledgement, like that nod's like. All right, and it goes well.
We both know that we recognize each other, but we don't really have enough.
Exactly, we're not there. Exactly, we weren't there in our friendship to be like, "Oh my god!" Right now, we just look, give it a nod, and go about our business.
That happens to me with like ex-coworkers. If once you've been in the same area long enough, you just start to see people and you're like, oh yeah, I remember quitting from you and throwing my keys on the floor, but now I have to sell you a couch. It's like, let's just not. I'm not even gonna be. I know your first and last name right when you walk up. We're just not. We're not gonna do that.
Right now, I don't think I've ran into some coworkers, like old coworkers. I mean, we talked about this before. Like I don't keep friends. I don't.
Coworkers are the hardest thing because like the only thing you have in common is that job.
Right.
The odds of you actually like hitting it off and being good friends is not that high.
Right. Exactly. So like most of the time, I mean, I work in I don't want to say like a niche market, but I work in tech. Most of the people that work in the same field.
Deck of cards is just getting shuffled.
Yeah, it's like the same. The people that work in the same field as me, we have the same. Just we're all gamers. We all. Most people do, weird hobbies like that. But I don't have enough. Like just because we have those little bit of hobbies is not going to be enough for me to hang out with you. Again, there's only one person from one of my old jobs that I still kind of keep contact with. Yeah. But other than that, it's just like I don't think I've ever ran into anybody at work. But I did run into somebody at a DevOps convention. So again, there's a whole IT big old cloud, but there's one section of it called DevOps, and there was a meeting in Tampa, and I ran into it. I saw 3 people that I used to work with, and excuse me, one of the guys, I don't know what it was, I felt like a celebrity. So I walked up, I'm like, hey man, it's been a while. He's like, oh my god, it's Robbie, it's you. And then the other guy's like, holy shit, I haven't seen you since blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, it's been. And this other guy's like, that I only met him once. And I quit this job about 6 years ago. And he's like, oh, my God, you're Robbie?
Everyone keeps saying, man, I wish you had met Robbie.
Exactly.
I wish you when Robbie was here.
That's what it's like. He's like, people are still talking about you. I hope it's not bad things, but,
Right.
But it's just
infamous.
But other than that, I've never ran into people when I was dating one of my exes, her and I were at Walmart, and we were walking through holding hands. Just mind your own business. And I hear a snicker, and I hear, oh my god, that's Robbie. And then they duck around. It was one of my exes. It was the girl that I dated before her, and her best friend were at the same Walmart at the same exact time. This was like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and this is a big city too. Like I've run into people, just people that I know in just the most random places. So I was in Daytona on spring break in some random hotel where everybody's partying, everybody's drinking. But how many hotels are there in Daytona? Like, I don't know, 100? Because
Daytona's like a big old tourist. Yeah. It's as big of a tourist city as us.
If you're kind of following like the street party, like the Mardi Gras aspect of it, who knows where you'll end up? Yeah. And then you run into somebody there, and you're like, how's this happening? Like, this is a big, this isn't the middle of nowhere breadbasket. This is like millions of people are here right now.
But have you ran into somebody else like outside of Florida?
Close. I've been in like the very outskirts of Florida at a flea market, and I ran into a coworker, and I was like, "What are you doing here today? How's this happening?" I'm
trying to think. Like, it's never been a thing. And one thing that I've always found odd is I've never. Well, I can't say it because just recently, but before this, I never ran into anybody at Disney or the airport that I used to work with, that I used to know. I never once ran into anybody. Maybe the airport is kind of like, not everybody is going on this flight at the same time. But
I see what you're saying. Those are like magnet locations.
Exactly.
Like
I've never ran into somebody. And I mean, I used to work at the airport. Mm-hmm. I've never seen anybody that I used to work with there that still works there, or when I was going there frequently. But the theme parks. And then it was actually not too long ago, a few months ago, I was talking to Kate, and we were walking through Disney. And I was like, man, for as much as
walking through Disney, home of Smiles and Families in Orlando, Florida, catch you there.
God, but I was talking to her because one of my buddies I train with, him and his wife go there all the time. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, of all the times that we've been here, I've never once ran into John. And as soon as I said that, we turned the corner, John and his wife are there. Like, oh my God, we were just talking about you. I was like, we were just talking about you.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Asking you shall receive.
Right. I mean, I didn't want to run into him. I hate him.
Well, I'm kidding. It's also weird because you're in a place where your time is limited, and you have you probably have a schedule. Like, we're gonna hit this ride, and then we're gonna hit this ride, and then
because that's the wonders about being an annual pass holder.
There's no
schedule. We make our fast passes, and it's like, if we make him, we make him. Whatever. We can always come next week. But also, I do think about it, it's like there's so many different parks to Disney World here. It's not like Disneyland where there's two. There's Disneyland and California Adventure. Here you got Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot.
Body Wars featuring Michael Jackson.
That was whatchamacallit?
No, I don't know. I was trying to throw out something I knew was closed. And
Body Wars is not Body Wars. It's Captain EO.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's closed though, right?
Yeah, it's closed.
Okay, yeah.
Don't talk.
I haven't
about
been to the parks as many times.
Don't.
Okay, that's fine.
Still a sore
Oh,
subject.
is it really?
I used to hate that. So here's a little bit of history about me.
Let's do it.
So that used to play in Disney Tokyo. When we lived in Thailand, we used to go to parts of Southeast Asia all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on a vacation.
You're so exotic.
Can't you tell by the caramel skin?
Yeah, that's true.
But we went to Disney on a trip because my dad had to visit something for work, and they had Captain EO there. And I don't know how old I was. I think I had to have been in kindergarten. So what's that? 6 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old.
So Michael Jackson was still cool at the time. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. And there's one part in the Captain EO that he reaches his hand out, and that scared the living hell out of me because it's a 3D show, and it's all dancing and stuff like that. And like I said, he reaches his hand out, and that just scared the living shit out of me. Obviously, I'm a male child. Michael Jackson reaching out to me, so subliminally, I'm like, God.
I thought you were going really deep, like he's breaking the fourth wall.
No.
Everything I know is being destroyed.
Well, yeah, obviously, me not knowing what 3D was at the time, I was like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah.
And that gave me nightmares for the longest time. And then they brought it back here. They did I think it was a 20th year anniversary. Oh no, I went.
Okay.
I was me and my mom. I was like I've watched it on YouTube because it was out of theaters and also. So I was like, I want to watch it now and see what it was like. It's like, this is actually pretty good. And I went. I was the first one in line on the first day that they opened it up. I was like, I want to see it again.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends that are afraid of roller coasters where you can't even take them? Really?
Yeah. Kate doesn't like roller coasters. She likes
not liking them's different.
She goes on some roller coasters, but she won't do roller coasters that go backwards.
That's fair. I'll give her a pass.
I think if they have loops, she doesn't do that either.
You know what? I know you're gonna hate me for saying this, but you know what ride really kicked my ass was Back to the Future.
Oh my God!
I was in the back seat and the roof is curved inward in the back seat, so you're like this, and you're hitting the wall and the roof at the same time. And you're like, who thought this was? It's been shaking violently for 20 years. It's probably not the tightest suspension anymore.
Right. Well, they now they have that it's the Simpsons, right? I'm not sure if they're closing.
It's the same nuts and bolts.
But right? I can't. Yeah, it's essentially the same exact thing. But I can't really do that. I think it's the high definition. It's the same thing with. I don't know. Have you been on the Harry Potter ride, the one through the castle and all that?
There was a window where I was going to the parks all the time, and then since then, not at all.
None of the time.
No,
yeah.
About since Harry Potter started, I've never gone to any of the parks.
It goes between television screen and then between animatronics and stuff like that, and it's kind of like the same thing where Back to the Future, you're in a cart and it's you see all this stuff and there's a screen, but I get so motion sick. I can't do that right.
I always give a pass to motion sick. For me, the reason I bring it up is if people are actually terrified of roller coasters. Do you have anybody who's just I don't like it, I can't do it? I always thought that was so funny. Is if you're at the parks and you're not on the roller coasters, what are you doing? It's it's like going to the beach and not getting in the water.
Right.
Well, that's a bad analogy because I do enjoy not going in the water a lot of the time, but you get the idea.
So I think we're having problems with the camera really quick.
Yeah, we're gonna work this camera thing out. It's
gonna go to a brief intermission really quick while we fix this up. So give me a few minutes.
Bear with us. It just makes your job it just makes you twice as good of a rapper.
All right, I think we're back. Oh, Nope. Do the same thing again. Hold on.
Sorry, guys.
This camera. All right. Go back to hold real quick. All right, hopefully we're back and everything is working now.
Sorry about that.
Nope, it's doing the same thing.
We're going to get a new camera set up. I promise.
Let me try something real quick. While this is on.
I messed up my chat as well.
There we go.
We good?
All right, now we are good.
Sorry. Right. So where were we? What's going on with you, Ravi?
I don't know. You had some topics you want to talk about, so let's go. Let's go to that. Let's go into the topics.
This last week, usually I bring up something that I've just been thinking a lot about. Try not to make it like, oh, this is a thing in the news, but this week on my Facebook, I have all these friends that I really respect, that are intelligent people, and they'll post something like, "Man, I'm having a really rough Mercury in retrograde this week. Is anybody else with me?" And I'm just like, how do I like? I just want to shake them. I don't know. Do you have anybody like that where they have some? I understand. Believe whatever religion you want to believe whatever thing you want to believe, but some things are just factually incorrect, right?
Yeah.
Like Mercury retrograde. First of all, retrograde is a complete fallacy. It's a misnomer. It's back when people worshiped dirt and didn't know that planets orbited each other, orbited the sun. I sound really intelligent, right? But yeah, it doesn't mean anything. And then somebody posted a picture that it's a mortar and pestle, the grinding thing that you grind herbs or medicines or whatever with. And it's like, this is what a medicine cabinet should look like. And it's a mortar and pestle and like 50 jars with different herbs. And it's obviously probably a spice rack.
With witch hazel and frog's breath.
Like,
and that's
no, this is what a medicine cabinet should look like in the year 500,
when you have to go to the apothecary to get your medicine.
Totally unpeer-reviewed, microscopically analyzed, no trials done. That's not what a medicine cabinet should look like at all. That's just factually incorrect. Like, I just think people believe things that make them feel good. And it's like, when it comes to science, your feelings, just because it gives you warm fuzzies to be like close to. I mean, I love nature. Whenever I play an RPG or a game, I play an elf. I'm like hiding in the trees. I am green as fuck. But I just don't get the mindset where you're like, if distrust big pharma, then eat dirt. You know what I mean? It's like, and I distrust big pharma too. Do I think that their motives are pure?
Again,
no.
it goes to the same thing that I was talking about last week or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about people enjoying things.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy what you want to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want me to believe in your thing, change my mind. It's that whole Steven Crowder change my mind.
But this is the flip side of the change my mind is asking them, what would it take to change your mind? And the answer is nothing.
No, but then that's the case. If it's and that's how you have to go into conversations. That's how you have to go into it. Well, not really conversations, because if you're just conversing with somebody, this is whatever, like how we usually talk, cool, whatever. But it was like a debate where they're like, I need to change your mind. It's like, okay, if you're trying to change my mind, what will it take to change your mind? Right. Nothing. Then we're done.
You have to be done.
Then we're done.
But it's just I've seen so much anti-intellectualism, anti-education that it's like I just can't fathom it. I tell Christine, like, if we have a kid, how the hell are we going to protect them from all this misinformation on the internet? Like, you have so much access to information and nobody checks their sources. It'll be like, vegan mommy tricks you don't believe.com, and it's just like, what in the hell are you?
They get all their stuff from what's that? Shit, what's that?
Avocado?
No. I'm trying to think of the BuzzFeed. They get all their medical advice from BuzzFeed and all that.
In this regard, BuzzFeed's not even the worst. Like there's a couple, people that are really bad at this stuff, and there's a couple Facebook pages that just kind of make up a nonsense video, and it goes ultra viral, and it's full of absolute nonsense.
Right.
There's a video going around right now where it's like, did you know that your rice has plastic in it? And it's like, no, that's debunked. And then it's like, and did you know that if you eat this, if you put milk in it, it turns blue? And this video is like, I think it's Blossom on Facebook. And it's like, the video is like 15 minutes long, and every single thing in it is absolute nonsense. Huh. But when people watch the video or share the video, they're like, yeah, I have this hidden knowledge. I know better than science. I don't need science. And it's like, that's not there's not a single fact in that entire video.
It's clickbait, and people are falling for it.
Yeah. But it just drives me crazy.
These 5 crazy facts you didn't know about rice.
Yeah, one weird trick when mom figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want you to know.
Exactly.
Do you have any? I know you're not a big social networking guy, but do you have any people that it's just like?
Yeah, there's some people that they post stuff on their Instagram about what their lunar calendar says about the day, and I'm just like, okay, you believe it.
I've never gone into someone's Facebook on some astrology post and been like, that's nonsense, right?
No.
But when they have a video like the food video that's all just nonsense, I'm like, here's a link on why this video is wrong, and please watch it. It's like,
yeah,
these aren't people I'm super close with where I'm like destroying our friendship by trying to give them the right information, but it's like
I've had at most, like you said, I'm not a big social network, social media person, social networking, whatever. I have my friends and whatever, I follow them,
and that's why it's hard to make friends with coworkers, because you have to be like, is this worth devoting more time of my life to maintain this
but
friendship?
If for me, I try to stay out of people's business unless it's something martial arts related. I'll give my 2 cents. If it's something,
if they say something like factually wrong about martial arts,
gaming related, I'll say something about it. But the one thing now, it's like, and obviously it's really relevant since the last election. It's just a whole bunch of just a lot of political stuff that it's just they're one-sided, and it's just like
tribal thing.
It's just, here's my mindset, this is it, and I try not to get involved in it. But if it's just completely wrong, that's like, right, so and so did this to this person because of this, I'm like, no, here's the full story before you go on spewing and stuff. Make sure you read the whole story.
But I at least understand that, though. It's like, if you are in team A, you have to believe that global warming is fake, and if you're in team B, you have to believe it's real. It's just it's like the cost of entry, and so I know that's why certain things, that's why you believe those things. It's because your tribe believes those things. But other things, maybe it's the same way with astrology. Astrology specifically is one that just seems like so many people, doctorate, PhD level people.
It goes back to the whole Greco-Roman stuff, where it's like, we praise
the sun.
For lack of a better, we praise the sun.
The sun decided to come up today. I can't believe it.
Right,
I'm gonna spin 10 times in a circle and cut a chicken's throat.
Exactly. See that star right there? That is this person, and they bestow this upon us. Blah blah blah. We have to sacrifice to them. Yeah, right. It goes back to that, and it could just be innate in some of us that we still have those devotions, those dedications to these gods.
There is like something in human psychology that has a predisposition towards
element of
supercalifragilistic. Like, even if you're not exposed to a religion, you'll probably believe in something.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just that's just how we're wired to some extent, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like you said. Some people are wired a certain way. It has to be something like that we are still on our older ancestors there.
That's the thing. It's just
something.
It's just old thinking. Like
something in us is still relating that to us now, today.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. And like I said, it
drives me crazy, dude. I don't want everyone in the world to think like me, exactly like me.
Right.
But some things are just wrong.
I watch movies, I watch television shows, and I've never once had that hippie astrology person. It's like That's such a Libra thing. That's such a Leo thing. And like I've never had somebody do. And like I watch these shows. It's like that's what I'm expecting these people to do. But I've never once had somebody. I've had one person guess what sign I was
based on your personality.
Based on my personality, and they were right. And that's the only time that I'm like, that's interesting, because I've looked into it, and so a lot of stuff that I feel like this astrology, like you have your horoscope and on,
it's self-fulfilling.
It's very vague. That could fit with any person. Even like some of the personality stuff, it's kind of open-minded. It's kind of open, so it's like it can be interpreted different ways, and but
you have your own opinions. They're right. I have my own opinions.
Exactly. You like to breathe air.
But I also think too.
Oh my god.
I think it's self-fulfilling too in a certain way, because it'll be like, oh, this astrology stuff looks neat. I wonder what they say about people like me. People like you are talkative and friendly, and that just gives you kind of permission to be talkative and friendly. So then you're talkative and friendly, and then you're like, it was right. That's so me.
And like I've had I've also looked up my own signs, and the person that I'm dating, their signs, just to see just
I've done that too.
Just for shits and giggles,
me
to
and
see
my
what
wife are both air signs, and man, it's such a good combination.
And my ex, she believed in that stuff too, but I can't remember what she was, but it was pretty much, you two are destined for each other, blah, blah.
That must mean it's true.
And it's just like,
that must mean this person that I already have strong feelings for is a good person to have strong feelings for.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's my ex. So that went far.
Bias.
Yeah, it's just like, it's...
Well, romance is very complicated too, because everyone has a different idea of what it is, and then everyone has a kind of like a Hallmark card version of what love is supposed to be, kind of crammed down your throat by movies your entire life. That's why I thought, did you ever see 500 Days of Summer?
Yeah.
Just recording that.
We watched it like religiously when we lived together.
I feel like that's probably...
You were in bed with me.
Yeah, don't you remember? We had our arms around each other. But anyways, I think that's the most important romance movie made in the last 100 years, because it's like, if you watch like a Love Actually, and you're like, oh my God, it was so touching. He had the little cards and he wrote on them.
Right.
That's so true. It's like, no, you need to know the boundaries of what love is. You need to know what not to do. That is useful information. So when they come out and say, I think it's at the very end of the movie where the guy's like, she's not my dream girl, but she's better than my dream girl because she's real. It was like, like that's what you need to have in your relationship. Not this quack journalist who writes this 8-paragraph thing every week, or 12, because there's 12 months in the year. 12-paragraph thing every month, and wears a crystal and a goose feather.
Oh, don't even get me started with the crystals and all that. The salt rocks.
I know, and it's people that they're genuinely well-meaning people. Yeah. So I can't be mad at them for wanting to give me what they consider to be good advice. Like they're actually genuinely concerned. So, but it's kind of like really like my last job. Guy works there, really cool guy. Despite the fact that I got fired by him, but that's a different story.
That you got fired by him?
Yeah, I deserved it. I kind of was like, my life was falling apart and I wasn't doing what I should be doing. But anyways, so he gives everybody in his direct team a crystal garden. He's got some plants and some crystals. He's like, oh yeah, my wife's a crystal healer or whatever. I'm just like, it's like, first of all, this is pretty. This is well arranged. This is something that people want.
It's visually appealing.
Yeah, it's visually appealing. That's cool. But like, don't tell me it's going to cure cancer or something.
And that's the thing. And that's like that whole goop thing. I know that.
Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on Gwyneth Paltrow.
That they're all people are all anonymous because she's I mean,
carry around a jade egg in your vagina.
Right. It's not her herself, but it's her writers, her publication. Right. They're the ones that are putting out there. Even there was the one about the stickers. Did you hear about these?
Yeah, the healing stickers.
The NASA stickers. Oh my God. And they're like, no.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because there's so many things that they just put designed by a NASA scientist on the front of it, and then people are just like, oh my gosh, it's scientifically sound,
right?
Because of this argument from authority that it was designed by a national scientist.
Right.
And people don't even know what argument from authority means.
They came out and were like, oh well, we apologize. Our sources were incorrect. Like, no, you didn't even care to source it because you just want, again, it's clickbait.
But
clickbait.
I don't get, at what point are they creating the problem, or are they exploiting the problem? You know what I mean? Are they creating this demographic of people that believes everything they read on the internet?
Who's that? Dave or me? Rocktism saying that I look like, or Rocktism said, you look like Speedy Gonzalez. I'm not sure if you're talking about Dave or me, but we both,
we both have that Don Quixote thing.
That Spanish thing going on,
His was a little more epic than mine, but anyhow.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't stream for a while, Rocktism. Oh, Dave doesn't exist?
Am I talking too fast? I drink
Dave
a lot
is
of caffeine.
here.
I got caffeine right here. Oh, he's talking about my Twitch that I haven't started yet?
No. I think that maybe you want to come in just a little bit. There we go. There's Dave.
Hi. Sorry, when I talk about, my Mercury is in retrograde right now, so I'm having really trouble.
But yeah,
I don't even know if my image will pick up on a camera, really.
But
because I might be a ghost for all I know.
It's a clickbait to get these middle-aged housewives to, not even clickbait. I mean, even though, yes, they do have their own websites and all that stuff, so again, they do get the click.
Right.
But they see, they're in Publix, they're in Walmart, whatever. They see this. Well, let me just read this.
It's just a flavorful story that people want to eat. They want to believe in ghost stories. They want to believe in magic. They want to believe, It's just, I don't know. It's just entertaining, I guess. I don't know. It just drives me crazy when someone says something like that on Facebook. Like someone had sent me an invite. I guess they had gotten off Facebook for a long time because of relationships or something. Yeah. And this is somebody I really respect. And there's probably a couple people who think I'm talking about them, but I'm not. It's somebody that I know that I knew from high school. But yeah, and I'm like, what do I say to this? Like,
right.
Who are you trying to convince, or are you just preaching to the choir of other people? I don't get it.
And I'm trying to think. I wasn't want to say something about like the whole clickbait and all that stuff. Damn, but I can't.
Well, nobody ever cites their sources either. It'll be like you can just say anything, and then you read the from, and it's like nonsense.com. It's just, why would I ever believe anything they say? And then people believe the headline, and then if you actually click the headline and go to the article, it's just really vague. There's no citations of anything. And it was like, but they believe the headline. Yeah. Just because it's there. And everything you see online is true, I guess.
The problem, too, is I think that there's so much. The information is more easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that this wasn't the case in the 60s, 50s, 40s? No, because that's where the whole on the pedestal kind of deal. You have the person over there preaching, this and that. But now you give them an even bigger platform. Right. Before it was word of mouth. Who is an earshot of me?
Mm-hmm.
But over also, here now you have the internet. We can obviously sit here and say we just tried these.
We just tried this weight loss drink, and it really works.
Exactly. Those bracelets that they're like, put this bracelet on, you'll have
20 pounds.
No, not that. It's like you'll have magical balance, you'll have more energy, and stuff like that. And they have the commercials where it's like, watch before the bracelet, after the bracelet, look at the balance. It's like no.
Amazing.
Yeah, but like I said, now you have people that you give people a bigger platform to preach to, and people can access it more easily, and then
they just access it; they can create it easily too.
Right,
obviously. Because publication used to require money, used to require an organization, and the accountability for that organization is if they said something that wasn't true, people wouldn't buy their paper anymore. But now people just buy everything. It doesn't cost anything to post articles online.
And they see somebody that's like, they have my same thought process. I want to see what else they have, and it just goes down the rabbit hole.
Right. That's just what I've been dealing with this week, and it comes from everybody: boys, girls, young, old. Astrology is just. When I have a kid, I'm just going to be like, I hate to be the guy who's like trying to control people's thoughts and free speech, but like, I just cannot let you melt your brain like this to whatever kid is like, listen, people are going to tell you all kinds of nonsense.
Right.
Just please, please, please ask them to prove it. That's it. Just whatever anybody tells you. If you just say prove it. And people get so upset if you tell them to say prove it. It's like, why? Faith is not a requirement for fact. It's like, just because you believe it doesn't mean it's true.
But again, if that's what helps you get by in life, and you want to, your faith is what drives you, go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm not specifically talking about religion. I just say that faith.
No, but I'm not saying religion. Mm-hmm. It's faith in it can be faith in a scripture. It could be faith in this person. It could be faith in this product.
Faith in honey cures bullet wounds.
Right, exactly, stuff like that. So, whatever, to each their own. However, you're talking about Facebook, and I don't want to stray away from this, but we're talking about the same thing as Facebook. The only thing that I like to keep on Facebook, besides people that I feel like, okay, I will talk to these people, I have like a handful of people that I like to watch their
them go down the drain.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it, because it's just like, some of them, they're just like, live this certain life, and it's just like, it's a television show almost. I just see it through their post.
It is kind of like reality TV.
I see them through their posts. I'm like, oh, girl, keep going.
I mean, I do it
keep
too.
Going.
I have like my tribal beliefs or whatever, but yeah, that's a different story.
Your tribal beliefs?
Well, political beliefs is like.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, we're not gonna get into politics, but
that's not really the goal.
But yeah, it's just like I see some of the people that they just have such ridiculous, and they post such ridiculous things, and then they get into these multi-level marketing, and then they get out of the multi-level marketing, and then they go into a different one, and they come out. It's just like, did you guys not learn the first time?
Honey, let me tell you a story.
Yeah.
So I was at my job at a furniture store, my last job, a well-known furniture chain. And I'm helping this guy, he's making some big purchases, and we're kind of hitting it off. And he's like, you're really good at customer service. Let me give you my card. You so-and-so, we could set you up an interview. And I'm like, okay, this sounds cool. Maybe. Do
you want to sell lives?
Well, no. It was an MLM for insurance. And I went to this, I went to his office, and I was like dressed up, and we did an interview. And then one of the red flags you're supposed to look for in MLMs is like they start trying to sell them to you,
right,
instead of the other way around.
Right.
If you're there for a job, you're trying to prove that you're good enough to do the job. But when they start, trying to convince you, it's kind of like something's not right here. And then he's like, okay, let's go to the seminar, and we go to a separate building. And I walk in the door, and there's like 50 schmucks in these like folding metal chairs in rows about to see this, MLM spiel. And everyone has that like fake enthusiasm that's like, yeah, we're just helping people, we're just, you're
some guy in a suit with a pin that says boss bitch.
Yeah, it's like, I know you're selling something, but really it's something they need, so you're actually helping them.
Yeah.
And then I just smelled it in the air. It was like electric. I just did not want to be in that room. And I literally like said, let me get a drink out of this water fountain. I was like, we hit the water fountain, and then I whipped it 180 and walked out the door. And there was multiple people like, wait, where are you going? And I was like, I just got a phone call.
One of us.
It's like these poor schmucks in this insurance MLM. And then I looked them up when I got home, and it's like some nonsense that everybody knows is nonsense. And he never once told me the name of the company. If I hadn't heard the name of the company like in person the day before, I never would have gone. I never would have gone through any of the schmuck nonsense.
But that was also our mutual friend. That
multiple mutual friends. I don't know if you know, but multiple. No.
I know that multiple mutual friends have been in multi-level marketing, but how many of them reached out to you about it? I have only one.
Yeah. I do respect that the other one I'm thinking of never approached me.
Yeah, exactly. First. So I think that we're both thinking about the same person. So I haven't talked to this person since Dave and I we stopped living together. Like he was in the band that Dave was in, and
well, if you're gonna say he's in the band, we might as well just name him.
No, I'm not gonna say that.
Okay, that's fine.
No, I'm not gonna say that. So it was like I hung out with this guy all the time, and then all of a sudden we stopped. We stopped talking. Uh-huh. We stopped talking. And it's like, all right, cool. Everybody went their own way. We all grew up. We did our own thing. We became big boys. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, 3-4 years later, I get a call. Hey, Robbie, how you doing? Yeah, it's been a while. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm selling T-Mobile.
You know what's so funny about that conversation that you're mentioning? When I had that conversation, I opened that conversation with, hey, man, it's good to hear you. I just hope you're not trying to sell me anything. And then he still went to the sales pitch. Have you ever seen the math on, I mean, I know you're a pretty smart guy with programming and stuff. It's like, the math on pyramid schemes is like, after like 10 or 12 cycles, everyone on the planet is in the pyramid scheme. Yeah. It's like, there's no way in hell that everyone can make money on this. Only the person at the top is making money.
Right.
And the one that I was approached to do is like, you basically reach out to all your friends and family, sell them a crappy insurance policy, way more than it's worth. And then you run out of people to sell to. And then you get this nothing commission off of the people that you sold to, and they're like, it's just a good side gig. It's just something you'll do in your spare time to make money. What? And it's like it's just so. And but the way they're making money, like the guy who, first of all, when you meet at the office, they take you to the seminar in their car because they don't want you to have the means to leave. So
how'd you leave?
I just walked back to my car. I just walked across the street.
Oh, is it across the street?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's a big it's like a 6-lane interstate with a median. But anyways, and maybe state road is a better word. But yeah, so they want to impress you with their car. It's like some whatever BMW brand.
Oh, as I say, like Chrysler or something like that.
No. And I'm just like, I know that you are not making this. You didn't get this car selling insurance. You got this car recruiting people. I am the product, not the customer.
Yeah.
Like I know the difference between cattle and cowboys. You know, it's like
right.
I know that if I sign on to this thing with you, I'm not a cowboy. I am not running the show. I am a cattle. And it's like, and people are just so gullible and they're just so trusting of it's just enthusiasm. People are just suckers for enthusiasm.
You know, also a lot of other people, they, you know, their friend that they trust gets them recruited and they're like, oh, you know, sure, why not? Like, and then they get sucked into it.
There's a bit of like exploitation of greed too. Every good con has like something for the person to gain, and they want to believe it, and that's they convince themselves that it's legit.
Right. And there was a documentary that I just watched about was it LuLaRoe or something? One of these multi-level marketing things that they pretty much, you know, they're for you. You know,
you need a name. If you're gonna name a name, I'm gonna have to name a name.
We're there for you. Mm-hmm. We're there for you. No, I'm just saying it was a documentary that I watched.
Okay.
And they talk about LuLaRoe, and they're like, oh, I had all these friends. Everybody was there for me. Yada yada yada. And then I decided to step back because the person that they were talking about, like, you know, I guess that something was happening at her house, like in her personal life, that she was like, I'm gonna have to step back, and just everybody just like dropped her, like, no, don't talk to her. She's like pretty much blacklisted from like everything, and she's like, oh, I thought all these people were my friends, and that's it. They give you this, you know, you either get in by somebody that you trust, and then you get in with this other group, and that's what one. It was like 3 or 4 people that they talked about in this documentary, and they're like, they prey on the ones that have kind of like insecurities. That's like, oh, this person will feel like they have a family, they want to be loved. Right. We'll give them that, so that way they feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And once they're done, drop them.
The legality of it is so great too, because like pyramid schemes are illegal, but they do everything they can to be just outside of that legal definition of pyramid scheme. And I've heard like a lot of them will sell a product, but nobody's making money selling the product. No. They're making money getting people to sell the product.
And that's it. The way you tell, again, like you're saying, the thing is that you're not selling a product. You're, you know, recruiting. You're recruiting. That's just it. You know, the product is the secondary thing, but the main source, the main source of income is you recruiting them recruiting others, and so on and so forth.
And the one I'm talking about too, they make you pay like $100 licensing fee to get like insurance licensing. You can't sell insurance without a license.
And like you're saying, the person drove you in their BMW. Apparently, that was like one of the things too that they talked about. Was like, you have to post on Instagrams and Facebook photos of your lavish lifestyle. You know,
I take your keys and put them in a raffle pot at the door so you can't leave.
It's well, you know, they're like, oh, I just did this $50,000 shopping spree. I never would have been able to do it before. Thanks, it works. Thanks, LuLaRoe. Thanks, whatever.
Have you seen the Reddits where they're like, and I'm swiping my, I think it was It Works, my It Works card, and then people are like, that's not what that receipt says. You know, people call them out on it. They're like, you're so full of crap.
Yep. That's that anti-MLM. I love that subreddit.
Yeah, it's just so dishonest. That's the thing that kills me about a lot of these organizations that try to recruit people, is like, they're, even religions, is like, how can you be the truth if you're lying? Like, how can this be something worthy if you have to lie to convince people, or if you have to make up stuff to convince people?
And the thing with like I have such a, I wouldn't say animosity, I have a distaste for It Works, because I was kind of, I wouldn't say thrown into it, but it came more prevalent in my life when I was starting to lose weight. I started seeing it more because
that's the crowd you were around.
No, it wasn't the crowd that I was around. No, I was never around that crowd. But I saw people trying to sell it, and I saw, you know, bumper sticker. Like, I used to go to the YMCA. I would see people, It Works, and they have like this before and after pictures and stuff like that. And I started looking. Because I was like, okay, maybe it does work. Maybe like some sort of
to convince you it's not a scam in the name of the brand. It's probably a scam.
No, because I was looking for, you know, any kind of like diet aids or anything like that. And then I started seeing seeing like some images of like,
it's a belly wrap. You'll lose 20 pounds.
Some of the people that like sell it and stuff. I'm like, if you are trying to sell a health product, you should be the epitome of health.
Right.
You should be, I wouldn't say, chisel bod and everything like that, but you should not be legally morbidly obese.
They have
That's just
access to this product, and they're in that sphere that they should have all the knowledge to make it happen. And if they haven't, then it obviously isn't there.
And my ex, she had bought some of the It Works stuff.
So that's the other thing too. A lot of these people, they have garages full of the product and they can't move it.
Exactly. They can't move it.
It expires, and then you made no money, and
But she bought some of the It Works stuff for hair and nail, and apparently she said it worked for that. Like it, but is that any different than some vitamins that if I were to go down to Walmart and get? I don't know,
like Biotin or
right. But I wasn't one to do it. But if she believed it and she had it like on a regular cycle, she had it like recurring payments and stuff, so she got the pills. I was like, cool, as long as that makes you happy. But again, if you're trying to sell me a health product, like you said, those wraps that they're like, lose 5 pounds instead or whatever, or these diet pills, whatever, and you are not in the health lifestyle, I don't know if I could.
I feel like as a society too, there's this weird like parabola and we're at the end of it, and the information age is like,
that's what they call me, the parabola.
Well, there used to be in like the 50s and 60s and 70s this concept of like the distrustworthy salesman, the carpetbagger or whatever. So it was like they were all on the lookout for snake oil. They knew what a scam was, and now there's no concept of like if it's too good to be true, right? Like people just don't even believe that anymore. They just it's too good to be true. It must be true. You know what I mean? It's like it's good. It obviously it works, and
it works.
Yeah. Some of them are crazy. Is like I'll throw my brother under the bus here. He won't get upset. Is like a lot of people believe weed should be legal, right? Logically, I'm fine with that. It's gonna create money. We as a society do not exclude being intoxicated by alcohol. So what's the difference to me? Logically, it should be fine. But you don't have to tell me it's going to cure cancer. Like,
right.
It's not going to cure cancer. Like that shouldn't even be a part of the conversation.
No, but I don't think that people with the thought that weed should be legal are under the impression that weed will cure cancer.
Some of them are.
Then those people are stupid. Yeah, but
sorry, bro.
But there are people that's this alleviates pain for them.
Yeah, and it increases appetite.
Right, it's stuff like that. Which yes, shit. You get the munchies. You got a bag of Doritos. Girl, best believe it's gonna help me in my appetite.
Sure. But that's what I'm saying is like there's so much conflation of like good science with bad science.
Right. And you just got to weed out those bad science.
That's good. I like that. That's why I make think about it.
You take those. You can't have these people that.
It's like at what point where's the red flag? The whole concept of red flags is like out the window. They just look at something online and they're like, you mentioned the belly wraps is like, obviously there's no way you're going to lose weight without working for it.
Exactly. And I think that's what my that what really
speed,
pissed me off was that you are trying to take the easy way while I'm over here sweating my ass off and I'm losing the weight. And you're over here.
This is gonna help though. This is gonna give you 5% more.
You're having a hamburger with 3 Twinkies and a cigarette, and you're thinking, "Oh, don't worry, I got my wrap on.
Yeah,
I'll lose the weight."
The one that I'm talking about is a cold vest, and the idea is that designed by a NASA scientist. The idea is that
has stickers on it.
No, it's just
unicorn.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same sales pitch, but the same argument from authority fallacy. But the idea is that your body is trying to maintain homeostasis. It's trying to stay 98.6 degrees. So if you wear something freezing cold around your body's going to have to burn calories to get back up to 98.6 degrees constantly. So they're like, wow, you can lose weight without doing any work. And that's immediately when it's like, nope.
Yeah.
Got to be fake. Too good to be true. It isn't true.
I haven't looked into too much, but there is that whole cryostasis kind of thing, like for the body. But from what I understand, that's only for pain relief. Like they put you from like the neck down, like flash freeze.
You get some kind of like reaction from your body chemistry.
Because what it's supposed to do is supposed to constrict the muscles and everything, and then your body's supposed to work to heat it up to get the blood flowing and everything. So it's supposed to help with muscle pain, which is the same thing as taking ice bath. I don't know if you ever done ice bath
and stuff.
Exactly, and that's why I do ice baths, is because I'll work out real hard. And I have a fight in a few weeks. I'm like, all right, let me do this so I can get my muscles back.
Too. Like your inflammation.
Yeah, but yeah, I can kind of see where that kind of works if it's a portable version of the.
But then the next step up from that is like cupping. It's like, oh yeah, cupping. It's magic.
But and the cupping, the reason why that got so popular was because of the Olympics. Exactly, they saw Michael Phelps and they saw the other Olympiads with these things on there, and they're like, what is that all about? Well, let me tell you about how Michael Phelps stays fit. Cupping, like, no, he doesn't just do the cupping to stay fit, bro. That guy.
Do you want to be a multiple gold medal Olympian?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a weird one too, because there's no sales pitch. Like, I can grab a cup and do it. So it's like, why is there? I don't know who's pushing this narrative. You know what I mean?
But it's not as simple as putting a cup on your arm. There's a lot more. There's heat involved in it that pulls the skin up, and
isn't it just about like blood flow?
Well, it's pretty much about pressure points. You put it on like a certain spot, and it pulls.
So it's like acupuncture, it centers your chi and stuff.
Well, I actually want to try acupuncture.
Really?
Yeah, I hate needles. I hate needles. I cannot deal with needles. Yeah, here I am. I understand.
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah.
But people, syringe, man, I freak out. So I don't know how I do.
To me, it's the visual of blood leaving my body.
Right, exactly.
I can't watch it.
And that's
it's not the pain. It's just like this, sinking.
I had to get my.
That's my blood. That's my life force leaving.
I had to get my ear drained because I had a cauliflower ear starting to form. And the doctor went in with the scalpel and cut, and that was the big problem, was not the scalpel cutting, but before he had to actually numb it, and he had this giant ass syringe, and he had to come in. I think I counted like 8 or 10 times that he had to go around to numb the ear, and just that syringe, and I'm freaking out. When he started with the scalpel, he pulled out the scalpel. He's like, "Think! All right, now we're going to start cutting your ear," and then just like drain it. I was like, oh, this is bad. But the syringe, that freaked me out. And it's just either the shot or exactly the blood. I can't watch it go out. But no, anyway. Acupuncture. I don't know the actual validity to it. Like,
but
I
you want to try it,
I don't know how
your
but yeah,
total results.
Exactly. I want to at least give it a try. I want to, I do massages every once in a while, and some people may think that's...
Well, same thing with chiropractor. Like, it feels good.
Exactly. People could think that that's a load of crock, and I'm just like, I work out every day, and I feel at ease after a massage.
Yeah. I feel... This is going to sound weird, but I feel like after yoga. Like, I feel like I just got a massage if I do yoga.
I can't do yoga anymore. I used to do yoga all the time. I don't know. It's just...
To me, it's like meditation.
Oh, yeah. It absolutely is. I mean, you're supposed to, these slow movements, deliberate moments, breathing exercises. So they're supposed to be like meditation. People find meditation in different things. You find meditation on the toilet when you play video games for 30 minutes.
Well, sort of. The meditation is like the exact opposite of my normal mind state. My normal mind state is I need to be stimulated as much as possible at all times, and meditation is like I need to be not stimulated as much as possible. Yeah. So to me, it's a nice just let my brain breathe. Because people are always like, you talk too fast. I can't understand you. I'm like, or I watch a YouTube video on like 1.25 speed because I'm like, they're talking too slow. I got stuff to do.
Kate was she's learning how to play ukulele. Yeah, that's what she was doing. She was like trying to like speed it up so she could get through all the talking and slow it down when they're actually playing the song. I was like, man, that would just mess me up.
No, I'm cool with that.
Just speed it up and then slow it down. Speed it up and then slow it down.
Just a lot of clicking. I feel like you're going to need those hands. If you're like, hey, I guess not. You're like strumming hand.
Yeah.
Is she right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay. Yeah, it's not so bad. Being left-handed must be hard. Just everything in the world is made for you.
Yeah, everything is anti-left.
Mm-hmm. Anti-left.
Anti-left hand.
I was going to do a naughty salute. But
no. There was but then there was a whole, in the early days, you know, left hand was devil, you know.
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're
that's left-handed too.
so,
There's so many beliefs that just have no basis whatsoever. That's what I don't get. It's like, just throw that away.
Right.
Do not say bless you when somebody sneezes. Their soul is not escaping their body, okay? It's not necessary. It's the same thing with, like you said, with the left hand. It's like,
yeah.
it drives me crazy. I can't believe other people that don't have something that.
But yeah, let them believe what they want to believe. Let them if that's what makes them happy, let them be. You know, until they come up to you and say you're wrong, you need to convert to this.
To me, it's really a hot issue when health is involved. Like when somebody obviously needs some very simple over-the-counter, you know, medical thing, but they're like, no, I'm just gonna, you know, do 3 Hail Marys and you know, drink a kombucha. I'm just gonna drink a kombucha and then all my
well,
centered.
But the you know, there are those
it's like you're gonna die.
There are those families that, you know, they've been arrested because, you know, exactly they're like, oh well, the doctor says this person, they need this lifestyle. No, we're just gonna go home and pray. And then the child ends up dying. They end up going to jail for, you know, abuse, negligence, whatever. And, you know, that's the way that it should take place. But again,
there's a small voice in the back of my mind that says, let the dumb people die. If they want to die that bad, just let them die.
And you know, it'll take its course. Nature will take its course.
Bad ideas just die out by definition because they're bad ideas.
Yeah,
that's fair. I can wash my hands of that. It's definitely an easy solution for me to not have to try to convince everyone. Just like, okay,
right, and yeah, again, just let. I like I said, for me, it's, and I think that I can't. And I think it was probably my father who told me, you know, if you have a conversation with somebody and they're trying to change your mind, you know, ask them, what will it take to change your mind? They say nothing, walk away, because then it's not even worth the argument. It's not worth the time. It's not worth anything. I feel like
it's such a huge problem in our country right now, just in everything, in science and religion and politics. There's no discourse.
No one wants to. No one wants to sit down and have a meaningful conversation. It's, this is my way. It's correct. You can't do anything about it. And like I said, those people, just let them be. Yeah. Just you want to live in your sheltered little bubble? Yeah. Go ahead.
I saw a study that said the reason that we can't have these conversations is because people have such a strong, I know this sounds really obvious that people have a strong emotional reaction, but they literally do, on a neurochemical level, feel like they're physically being attacked, and that's why you can't change their mind, is because they're literally activating their fight or flight reflex over like crystal healing or something. You know what I mean? It's like, whew, that's devotion.
Yeah, and if she wants to, he wants to.
It's always a she on this one. To be fair, there's two he's.
Just because I have one lady that I used to work with. She was a major hippie, and she had a salt rock lamp on her desk, and it's like all these crystals and stuff like that. And it's just like, man.
Public service announcement: essential oils will kill your cat.
Yeah,
they will. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Cats have very sensitive respiratory systems, and you'll literally just kill them.
Yeah, and you know, if you think that the essential oils are going to help cure cancer and stuff like that, just,
it smells nice, it's relaxing, but
yeah, just don't. But again, it's, if my problem with this thing is the adults who bestow it upon their children, because the children don't know any better. They're going to see the adults and be like, this is what they believe, I need to believe what they believe, because obviously that's what they look up to. The children do need to have their own thought. They need to be able to put their own educational
thinking, citing sources, questioning sources, evaluating sources.
Yeah, they need to put their own education into it and be like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of questioning why I'm sick. Why are you trying to rub oils on me or whatever? Yeah. Why are you using infusers? I think I need to go to a doctor. And then the parents like, no, yeah. You will not do that. And it's like,
I'm here to champion, prove it. That's it. I need prove it to win and to survive.
And now, kids are suing their families because they won't allow them to be vaccinated. And the kids are like, I've done my own research. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to affect me later on.
Well, first of all, it is your body and your rights. But second of all, I got derailed there. So vaccination, right? All these people that are, taking the group photos with the T-shirts where it's like, vaccines cause autism. Vaccines do this. Vaccines do that. Every single person in that photo is vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's like, not. Oh, really? Does any one of you have any of the things on your T-shirts? No.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
But the vaccine argument is another argument, but it's it's because one doctor said something in a research journal once, exactly, was debunked, was disproved, was disbarred or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was, in this case that I'm thinking of, I think they were disbarred.
Taken off of the American Medical Association, whatever the hell it is. But everybody still cites that, and it's like, that this is not a factual thing because of everything that was proven about. Right. And that's what Jenny McCarthy and all the other anti-vax
there's this compulsion to be like better than the commonly accepted knowledge. It's like, right. I'm better than the commonly accepted knowledge. The commonly accepted knowledge is a conspiracy. The commonly accepted knowledge was paid to say that. It's like, God, jeez.
But again, if that's what it is, that's fine. You live your own. You want to be an anti-vaccination. You want to do that. You stay in your little bubble. And and at this point, I literally mean you stay in your little bubble because you can cause problems for other people.
It is.
You
funny
there's been measles, mumps, and like all this stuff that's
herd
been
immunity, and you send it out, and people bring it back home, and the people at their house are too young to be vaccinated, so you're literally killing other people's babies.
Exactly, and that's the thing. There was that scare, I think like 6-7 months ago at Disneyland where something like that happened, where somebody spread measles, I think it was, and they're like, you're at Disneyland where they're children, like tiny children, that they cannot have vaccinations at that point for some of these things because it will kill them. Because guess what? It's pretty much you're giving them.
People are relying on your herd immunity.
Exactly, and you're spreading it. It's just like, come on, like you need to stay in your little bubble.
The funny thing too is like a lot of kind of personal decisions about medicine is like what you said, what you do with you, but anti-vax is kind of like, let's use our kids for guinea pigs. It's like, let's just ignore everything the scientific community says and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I've literally seen posts where it's like, oh, my kid's dying.
Yes.
Or, oh, I'm on my third kid and the first two died. And these are not like trolls that are just like putting.
I mean,
some of them are, but
one or
two that I'm thinking
you're getting the ones that you see from Facebook, exactly, from shares, from how valid is it? I don't know. I have some friends that their kids are not vaccinated and they're against vaccinations. And again, I think, okay, you want to be anti-vax, cool, you do your thing, but if hopefully when I have children. Your kids aren't coming around mine.
We don't play with them. We don't go in their yard.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm all for the school system saying we're not allowing unvaccinated children in because again, it's because of what the parents believe. They're bestowing their beliefs on the children. The children are then can cause problems for other children, other families. So it's like I don't know.
But I just wonder why now. Like, why not 10 years ago or 20 years ago? Like knowledge, just the concept of objective truth is just out the window completely.
But is it? It's always been there. The thing is that's like, it's the same thing with all these people doing stupid stuff and it being put online.
Like licking the top of ice cream.
Yeah, this stuff has been happening all the time. Same thing with this. This has been happening all the time. But now we have a medium that everybody can vocalize. This goes back to what I said. You're giving people a pedestal. You're giving people a big old arena to voice their opinion with a giant megaphone that everybody can hear. And it depends on if those people in the stadium want to hear it or walk away. And that's just it. It's not that it's more it's out there more. I just think that we're noticing it more because before it was either word of mouth, publication. You know, you had to write into the whatchamacallit, newspaper to get some sort of article.
Like editors and peer review and stuff like that.
Right. So you had and even then, you know, you wrote into your newspaper about this. You're only isolated to wherever that newspaper is circulated in.
Right. Sure.
So I think that now with the internet, now with, you know, forums, you know, live journal, MySpace, Facebook, you know, all these social media things too.
I just wonder what the next step is. Like what, you know, they're
going to beam it straight into your brain.
Yeah. I know that a lot of big like anti-vax websites are just getting banned. So they're just getting blocked, and like at Facebook or YouTube, they're just like, we just don't want this here anymore.
Yeah, and exactly. Facebook is combating that where, or not Facebook, YouTube is combating that where, well, I guess that Facebook too. Facebook is starting to ban ads. They're starting to ban, I don't think that they're banning groups, but they're banning ads for people that are trying to advertise for anti-vax. They're, you know, YouTube is combing through and deleting all these videos, deleting all these profile pages that, you know, if they are promoting this unhealthy lifestyle that they themselves feel is unhealthy, then yeah, they're just saying, nope, you're not on our platform.
So do you think it's going to get better or worse?
I think that it won't change anything. No, because I think that they will find a different medium.
They'll use Vimeo or something.
It's just okay. It's same thing with a lot of streamers. They get banned from one platform, they'll jump to the next platform. And then, you know, if they get reinstated, cool, they'll go back to their old platform until they do it again. And then they go to a different platform. So it's just like, what?
Did you hear about Ninja's new platform?
Yeah.
Millions of dollars. It's like the title of Twitch, basically. Well, it's like, we have this thing. We're the only one who has this thing. If you want this thing, you have to come to this new service.
Right, exactly. The Microsoft one. But it's just... And I think that because of YouTube, it's easy for people to upload onto, and now YouTube's combating that. They'll get creative. Either they'll go to a different platform, or maybe they'll create their own, where this is
like their own community.
Exactly, their own community. Because, like I said, like a forum, that, you know, you have your own hosted forum where it's just you and all the people that believe in what you want to believe. And they'll have their own video platform connected to that forum or whatever.
I guess the issue is like the spreading of it and how the algorithm spreads it. Because, you know, if people are looking for it and they want to be in that community, they're going to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
But the question is, does YouTube's algorithm really need to be suggesting these videos or like you said, advertising people, you know, advertising on these things and incentivizing them basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's not that, like you're saying, why now? Why is it happening? I think
we've had the internet for a long time at this point.
I think that it's, well, I mean, it hasn't been as easily accessible. Yeah. You know, you look back at the early days.
So prolific in people's lives. I don't think
the early days where, you know, the internet was a thing, but you had to pay for a phone service, you had to pay for the modem, you had to pay for this and that. You know, now it's. Then high-speed internet. Then high-speed internet was, okay, only certain areas had it. Now everywhere has it.
I mean, even wireless, our wireless connection speeds are like better than the first internet speeds were.
With higher speed internet mean more higher quality content. Oh, I wouldn't say higher quality content, higher quality mediums. Again, YouTube, Twitch, like these other mediums, they were able to put out this stuff. So, you know, before you would have to go onto a editorial or like a forum and read it. Now you're just vomited all this information where you just you could just sit there and pop in headphones, do whatever you're doing, and just listen to it.
And
because
just let the playlist go, just let the algorithm take you down the rabbit hole.
But I don't think that. I think that, you know, because of this, it gives people easier ways to contact people outside of just their communities. They can contact, you know, I could contact somebody, and you know, it's that what is it, Cable Guy. You could play your friend in Mortal Kombat in, what is it? I think it said in Japan, something like that. And that's just it. You know, I could talk to somebody in Japan if I wanted to right now, just with the ease of the internet.
Right. Did you know they had that high-speed multiplayer like split screen on Super Nintendo?
Did they? I know they had the.
It was like the Sega Channel.
Well, yes, but that was through a coax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know that the Super Famicom had something like that.
Yeah, it was like a dial-up service where you went into these like forum groups and matched up with someone who's playing the same game and like weird stuff like that.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that. But you could do they would you would tune in at like a certain time and then it would upload the data for a game that was like a timed. It was like a timed thing, so you won't have the game for like an hour, and you had to play it because it was like oh, you're playing along with the television channel.
Right.
So
at some point, I think the rental places had that, like Blockbuster had that for you to rent out. Anyways, yeah, I watched a video on it recently, so when you kind of tangentially touched on it, I was like, yo, you got to see this. These guys like revived the service and like tried to get it to work just for like a fun project to see if they could play Super Nintendo with someone.
Do I want some cheese? I don't know.
What's your favorite cheese?
Do I want cheese?
Yeah, just email it to admin@notaburgertv.com. Just
we don't have that site yet.
Obviously, you can't email cheese either.
It's no. Damn, what were we talking about? But
like the infectious information.
Because like I said, there was a thing, and I don't care for him, Jaden Smith, but he.
No, what are you talking about? He's so woke.
But he's
so woke. He's asleep. He's like dreaming of a different plane of consciousness.
Well, Will Smith said something about like about Jaden Smith posting this stuff on social media and stuff like that, and Will Smith pretty much said, you know, to the effect of, I did dumb shit, but the thing is, there was all this stuff that I could put out there which all these people are purposefully putting out there. So
we call them TikToks.
Yeah. You told me about that. Yeah. We're not going to talk about that, right?
I just don't get the like purposeful stupidity is. I mean, I understand that like watching somebody mess up or fall down or something is funny, but this is like, look how stupid we are. And it's not even ironic. It's like, look how stupid we are.
Yeah. But you get the people that, you know, they love that kind of stuff. And again, before it was, you know, Jackass, I had to either watch it on television or.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good analogy.
Or me and my friends, we did stupid stuff. And it was whoever was within earshot or eyesight of us. Right. They saw us.
You know what? The weird thing about Jackass is how universal it is, right? Like everyone has either it's a very male thing though too, to like do dumb physical things that might hurt you. Like did you ever do the kiddie pool skiing with us? So Andrew had that big boat car and he tied a rope to the bumper and he led the rope to a handlebar about 20 feet behind his car, and we sat in a kiddie pool with a painter's mask on and a cowboy hat, and would go around this big open fields like 30.
Jesus Christ.
It's like big flat fields of like really tall, lush grass, so that when you fell down, it was just like, whatever, it's just grass. Like, you know what I mean? But so yeah. So Jackass is a very kind of like universal thing, right? Everybody just kind of like, me personally, I like dumb hijinks, but they always lost me when it was things that intentionally caused pain or things that were like intentionally disgusting.
You said, is that right? And you used to stick staples. Like, did you take the stapler and actually staple them in, or did you just like stick them in? Because,
yeah, he's talking about on his own body.
Yeah, well, yeah. Roxas said I used to stick staples in my fingers to get street cred in middle school, and I
did that in my 20s.
Well, I've done. You know, I've pierced my own ear with safety pins.
Yeah.
Where I sat in the middle of class, I just did this, just straight through.
So. At the auto shop, there's always this kind of like, when you get a lot of guys together, there's this kind of like military thing where there's like barracks hijinks. It's just like unadulterated, you know, silly, testosterone nonsense, and we would get in stapler fights where we'd at the auto shop where we had like staplers as like nunchucks, and you're like, no, not shooting the little staple.
You actually hit.
Yes.
Oh my
hitting
god.
each other with the staples and stapling, and then the boss walked in and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And it was like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
He's like, "Give me that." He's like, "You guys are pussies." Whap 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 whap, and then. Pulling up the sleeve of his shirt so that they all popped out. This guy was a lunatic.
Nah.
You don't know what kind of stuff they get up to in auto shops, man. It is crazy.
I used to in high school. My high school was 2 stories, and we had at the front of the school there were some bushes on both sides of the gate. So what I would do is I would climb up this. I would scale the wall from the first floor. Okay. Well, I guess so. Yeah, I would scale the wall from the first floor up onto it, and then jump off into the bushes, and again,
which were marginally soft.
Oh yeah, exactly. They were like falling into pillows. Let me tell you
what.
Sticks
in it.
Yeah, but like I would do, and again, that was definitely because of the shit that I saw on Jackass, and then did the shopping cart jousting.
Yeah, we've done that too.
Because. I would go skating with a whole bunch of my friends that we all were into Jackass, CKY, and stuff like that, which is all the same thing.
Do you think
we would do those things because we'd be skateboarding, find a shopping cart.
I wonder if Jackass is art imitates life or life imitates art. Were we already doing stupid shit and they made a show that appealed to us because we were doing stupid shit, or were we doing stupid shit because we saw it on Jackass? Like, they definitely gave you ideas.
Yes.
They gave you the idea.
Exactly. I think that was it. Everybody was doing this stupid stuff, but
I mean, I've already told you how much hijinks we got into. Like, there's something inherently dangerous about skateboarding anyways. You're already jumping over crazy shit. You're already hurting yourself all the time. So it's like, why not do something crazy on top of it?
Yeah, and I think that what you said is like it kind of goes on with what you said. They definitely inspired a new kind of stupidity.
But the trailer had a warning. It was like,
of course, don't.
Obviously, nobody could have done it. How can you go against the disclaimer? It's impossible.
Yeah, no. The disclaimer says don't try these tricks at home. Nobody's gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me see.
Okay, so while you fix that, I'll tell more about the auto shop. Oh, is it fixed?
Well, no.
So the auto shop, right? Another fun game that they did was if you were in a bathroom stall, they would come over the top of the bathroom stall with a fire extinguisher and just full on gas you out of the stall.
Were you there when I gassed out Mike and everybody else was hanging out at the old band house?
I don't think so, but I've heard the story.
Yeah, I think Mike and I had some girls over, and we were all backyard with a bonfire, and I just sprayed it, and I just started spraying out the fire. I was like, everybody was.
Extinguishers are fun, man.
And everybody was like,
because you can't breathe. It literally like dries. I don't know. I'm not sure about the chemistry of it, but it you don't want that shit in your lungs. I know
it was awful.
Fact. So I've been there, the not breathing. Even worse was one time I was in the stall, and somebody lit a bottle rocket and threw it over the top of the stall, and I had my like. I think I was just about done because I had my pants like halfway up. But then I was like, oh no, I'm going to get sparks in my eyes, so let me cover my eyes. So I'm covering my eyes and waiting for it to ding, 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 and then blow up. What I didn't realize was that it had landed in my half pulled up pants, but while I had my eyes closed. So when it blew up against the side of my leg. So I had this like burned, bloody, sweaty like spot on the inside of my thigh. And I wasn't even like a quarter of my way through the workday. So I had to like grin and bear it with this injury on the inside of my leg. It was awful. And I took a bunch of paper towels and I wiped up this, ball sweaty, burny, bloody mess and then wiped it on the guy's face. So like, you son of a bitch, this is what you did to me. And then I'm not sure if it was the same guy. I think it was the same guy later hit me in the face with a lug nut on purpose and then got fired.
Oh.
So
damn.
Dude, these auto shops are crazy. So
yeah,
so it was like the last customer of the night. And it was just me and him, and it was like, oh man, we got to get out of here. Just tell her the 2 tires are good, and we'll just do the other 2 tires. Tell her that's good to have the newest tires in the front or the back. It's always in the back, just in case you're wondering. You always want your newer tires in the back, regardless of whether it's front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. Another PSA for today. But anyways, he was like, just tell her that, and we'll only have to do tires, and we'll go home, do 2 tires, and then we can go home. So I told her that, and she was like, if they're that bad, maybe I should just do all 4. So I was like, I walked back to him. I was like, "Great job, asshole! Now you have to do all 4." And I didn't even give her a sales pitch. She just came off of what you told me to tell her. And then he's like, "I'm not fucking doing it." He threw it at my face, and he wanted to fight. He was like getting up in my face and like knocking my uniform hat off my head, like trying to get me to get a rise out of me. And I was like, no matter what happens right now with me and you're still gonna have to do it. And,
Flesh. It sounds like you just worked with an asshole.
Yeah, he's just one of them. I mean, actually, he wasn't a bad guy. He probably hates my guts now, but he wasn't a bad guy before that happened. But auto shops are rough, dude.
I'm trying to think like the stupid stuff.
I could go on all day about auto shop stories.
I'm trying to think like the stupid stuff that I did, like besides the shopping cart jousting and stuff like that. But I mean,
did you ever hit trash cans with a car on purpose?
No, I ran into a trash can on my bicycle on accident. On accident. I mean, yeah, no, I never went into, never did like damage to people's property that.
My crew always went like right up to the line of like criminal vandalism and like danced on that line.
Yeah, I mean, I took a
it's a plastic garbage can, you know. It's probably owned by the city half the time. But
I took a skateboard off the roof of my parents' house onto a trampoline. That was scary shit.
Oh yeah. I've seen people like get hideously hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I think I went off of it and the skateboard like flew up and I landed on my back on the. But
Before the jump.
No. It went onto the treadmill. Oh, not on a treadmill. Wow, that would be scary. But trampoline. Mm-hmm. So it went from my roof to like a little bit of an ollie onto a trampoline, and then I fell backwards onto the trampoline, and the skateboard went. Phew.
I don't even understand the physics of successfully landing and then still being on the skateboard after the trampoline. Like the flexibility of it, the nylon-y material. Yeah. Like there's no good outcome when you land with that thing. I've hurt myself on a skateboard a lot of times. Luckily, I never like broke a bone doing that. Broken bones doing other things, but skateboards, man.
Like, you know, we would. I think talk about the fireworks. Like we used to do the Roman candle fights. Like
Roman candle fights.
Pew pew.
One of our buddies used to get the mortars, and then before you light the mortar, you jam it with other fireworks. You jam it with like bottle rockets.
Why?
So what'll happen is it'll go off, the mortar will fly, and then 50 lit bottle rockets will just fly in different random directions, and then there's this giant Star Wars battleground of like just flying on the ground and in the air. But it was fun.
Like you say, like skateboarding, that right there is a risk on its own. I remember it was
once you're skateboarding, other things don't seem so risky anymore, right?
I think it was like 4th of July, because I think that we were having a bottle rocket fight or what you call it, Roman candle fight. I set up, somebody was throwing out a recliner. So I took the recliner from their yard and I put it in the street, and we had a little mini ramp. So it was just like a little ramp that like we could do tricks off of.
Sure.
And I went up, and when I came up, I did an ollie. I pushed the tail down, and the back truck got caught on the recliner, and I went forward. Yeah. So I'm in the air and I'm falling forward. I will go boom, hit all this right here, and I go into my house, and my parents. Oh yeah, I was bleeding. I had a big old lump. I was bleeding. My parents are sitting there on the couch watching TV, watching the fire. It's like, Mom, Dad, I think I messed up. And I just had this blood running. But man, at that age though, you think you're invincible. But
yeah,
to the topic, like I said. Jackass definitely aided more creativity. Well, I wouldn't say creativity.
We both right off the bat were like, shopping cart jousting.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew what that was.
No, hello. No. We never did. I think that me and the group of friends that I had in high school, we would take the shopping carts and we would just like push somebody in the shopping carts in the middle of the town center over here. I think you know what town center I'm talking about.
Sure.
But like, pushing them around, nothing like that. But then when we saw Jackass, we're like,
we're doing this all wrong.
Yeah, you could just chuck them.
Yeah, but also by the same token, like, what crews did you know were in, or did you know where they were like, we shoved a toy car up our ass? You know what I mean? Nobody did that but them. That was exactly. That's how I know that there's a little bit of like art imitating life, because like people weren't copying that part. People weren't doing. Not people I know anyway.
Well, art imitating life or life imitating art?
Well, art imitating life, because they were showing us things we were already doing and willing to do, but just doing it better.
Okay.
Like, did you see the Dutch guys that came out after that? I don't remember what they were called.
They're not Dutch. They're not Dutch. I know who you're talking about.
Like the something boys or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But one of their big things was always cactuses, and I I don't get it. Like, you're just horrifically hurting yourself, slapping cactuses, having cactus fights, just thorns all up in your body. Like, nobody's doing that.
Oh my god. So,
what am I missing here?
So Fletch, he said, we used to take a piece of pipe with a 90-degree bend in it, cut a notch in the corner, boom, homemade bottle rocket rifle.
Wow. Actually, I've pretty much done that. I did that on Halloween. It was my wizard staff.
Like, we used to take like, I had a grinding rail that was just metal, and what we would do that. So it was like, pretty much, like a rocket launcher. Exactly. Like, this is Resident Evil. I'm over here like this, and my brother's behind me launching. I'm going looking for my pew. Like the next one, pew.
Yeah, just the utter disregard for our own safety. I definitely remember finding my grandpa's .22 rifle and taking the bullets out of the magazine and being like, I could do so much with these.
Oh my god.
Because a bullet, if it doesn't have a barrel around it, it's not a projectile anymore. It's almost like, especially a .22, it's almost like a bottle rocket or something.
Yeah.
Because there's really nothing to it,
Except gunpowder.
Yeah, but I mean, a bullet, if the shell blows up, it's not a center fire round. It's not going anywhere because there's nothing to contain the explosion and force the bullet in a certain direction. So yeah, people just fuck with them, and everybody wanted the little empty shell so they could make like a little tough guy necklace or a little tough guy bracelet out of it. So this is small town just nonsense, dude. I'm telling you,
white people.
I'm lucky. Sometimes I think I'm lucky to be alive. Yeah, the kind of shit that we got into, especially involving fireworks.
Oh yeah, it's exactly. I'm lucky I didn't break my. I mean, I did break my ankles. I think that's pretty much the worst of my injuries. But
I almost broke the inside of my ankle. But I've been in gator infested water on top of hitting the gators with the oranges. Like, I've been in water they were in, inner tubing or swimming or swimming holes. Man, there's so many times I could have just died.
Oh yeah, is that swimming holes here in Florida? It's that's pretty much the thing to do. Yeah. Is you find
like a rope swing and drop into the water.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember there was one over here that high school people would go to all the time, and they finally closed it down.
Was it far east, towards Christmas?
No.
Okay, that's the one we used.
No, it was right next to my high school. But
it's definitely not safe, especially with all the cypress trees we have. They kind of stain the water really dark, so you don't really know what's in the water when you're into it.
Well, that's the thing. Now I'm older. Now I realize I don't trust any body of water that I can't see through. There's gators in it. That I 100%
junk, just sharp junk.
Well, no. I think that any body of water in Florida that I cannot see through has a gator in it.
Dude, my apartment complex the other day, I was walking out to my car and I saw something in the road that was fairly big, and I just kind of double taked it. I didn't really pay attention to it. I thought it was a garbage bag that someone was taking to the dumpster or something. When I got a little closer and I looked at it, it was a snapping turtle, as big as a those big bouncy gym balls, that big, a snapping turtle, and it was just walking down the road. I was like, what?
So how have you sprained your toe 20 times, Rocktism? I'm curious about that. And then Adam, I made it 33 years with no breaks, then broke my ankle, and right now I have a broken toe. That sucks. I've stubbed my toe really bad that I've broken the toenail, but I've never actually broken a toe. Like I said, I've only broken my ankles.
The toe is rough. I broke my elbow playing tag at UCF in after school activities, at UCF nights, I think it's called. And I've broken my nose in a mosh pit. Yeah, and my tooth.
That's what. I'm surprised, with how much I compete martial arts.
Yeah, that's a good thing. You're literally striking each other on purpose.
I've never broken a bone yet. I mean, I thought that I broke the top of my foot last time. I went to go kick the guy, and he came down with the elbow. Just
kicked his elbow.
I went to go kick his ribs, and he came down, and the point of his elbow went to the top of my foot.
Was he not fast enough on a block, or what was he trying to do?
No, he was fast enough on the block. I was trying to kick him. He came down and blocked my foot. Yeah, he hit the top. So it's pretty much if this were it was pretty much the last three bones or the last three toes.
Elbows are no joke, dude.
And the elbow came straight down right there. And for the longest time, it took about 2 months for it to fully heal.
That was it for you, right? That match, you were just you were done, right? There's no continuing it. Yeah.
No, I still continued.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I kept fighting.
That's rough. Yeah. But you didn't kick with that foot anymore.
Oh, I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you.
Oh yeah, when you're in the middle of a fight like that, trust me,
so
your adrenaline's going.
Yeah. That's fair.
And like we have a tournament coming up in October.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tournament, and now my dojo we have pretty much a fight team. There's
Dude,
about.
I want to go now. You got me.
There's about.
You got me fucked up.
There's about 6 or 7 of us that are now gonna fight, and we're all gonna go to New York to go fight.
Maybe I'll wait.
I mean, we're gonna have one here, but there's about 6 or 7 of us that we're gonna go up there, and I tell them because they're all worried about what happens if you get hurt or something. I'm like, you fight through. Trust me, the adrenaline's going. You don't realize that. You don't realize it until after they say, okay, you're good. You have no more fights. And then you sit there. You do this. You relax. You're like, and then all the lactic acid settles.
Oh, yeah.
And then you feel everything. And then you go stand up.
I can't stand on my foot.
Yeah. And when I went, like, the fight that happened, actually, no, that it wasn't that fight. It was my first fight. So my first fight, they told me, okay, you're done fighting. You're done fighting for the day. You can relax. I stood up, and I couldn't bend like one of my knees because I was just so much pain. And then it was in New York,
happened to your knee?
just from kicking, from taking kicks, from me kicking. But then it was in New York. It was 29 degrees that night, and my dad, we couldn't find a parking spot close enough to the hotel, so my dad parked like pretty much like the furthest spot, and I stand out, me, Florida, warm-blooded asshole over here, just got done with a fight. I'm like hobbling like this. I'm like Igor.
I think that's colder than it was when I went to Iceland.
Yeah,
I think it was like in the 30s when I went to Iceland, so that's pretty damn cool.
It was awful, man.
Iceland was cool though. Yeah, I could definitely talk about Iceland or Auto Shop stories forever.
Oh jeez,
man, my chat is messed. Why don't you hit the chat up while I try to fix this?
Yeah, I just had so you're talking about dropping a slab of concrete on your toe. I had that happen to me yesterday. Not a slab of concrete. I had a brick. We were doing board breaking yesterday for some of the new students and myself, because part of the tournament is you have to break as many bricks as many 2x4s as possible.
Yeah, sure.
That's just if it comes down
I've been to board breaking day at a dojo once. Oh, let me turn the volume.
And we were just doing that yesterday, and I hit it, and when I hit it, the boards broke, but the brick that was holding the board went right onto my toe. Yeah.
Oof.
I'm fine though. Don't worry.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. Yeah, you seem like you're in a good mood today. You guys should have seen him. He was so cute in his little suit when I got here.
Well, yeah. You just asked that question. How legit is board breaking? Well, it depends. So what
kids break balsa wood? So
well, so the style that I do, Kyokushin, we do real board breaking, and it's a 1-inch thick board, each one, and you could stack up however many you want. As long as you could break them, then you continue on. And you're supposed to do it like with your knife hand, punch, your elbow, and then your foot. Some of the other art style, like some of the other martial art styles, what they do is they have either thinner boards or pre-broken boards.
And they're kind of like flexing it in.
Exactly. So they have pre-broken boards. Like they're almost like glued together slightly. So when you punch it, it breaks. But these are, like, we do legitimate boards that are not pre-broken, pre-anything. Like I said, they're 1 inch thick, and you just have to cut through. And ouch. My hand's still hurting, but...
You ever seen those videos of guys that are trying to shoot, like, home action movies, and they think that punching through a windshield is, like, in the movies, it's going to shatter, and then they realize it's, like, safety glass, and they have to do multiple punches, and then when they finally get their arm in, it's
shred. Yeah,
I can't do that.
I seen the one. I think it's a video from Russia where the guy's trying to break it with his forehead, and he is constantly hitting it.
Fucking Russians, man.
He keeps hitting it, but the I don't think the windshield ever breaks.
Yeah, you hit it with something sharp.
He just keep hitting it. It's like you see the guy's head just boom, boom, bouncing off.
Have you know a lot of people in Russia die doing like Instagram stunts and YouTube stunts and stuff like that, right?
See, and again, it's
social Darwinism again.
No,
like,
it's
we'll have less of
it is that kind of goes back to the topic of this stuff was always prevalent.
Right. Yeah,
it's just
right.
now we have a medium where we could see it globally.
If Joe Idiot died doing something silly in his front yard, nobody would know about it. If the local police would be like, "This idiot died," and then that would be it.
Right. Exactly.
Now it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go shoot some people. I'm gonna make a video.
Hey guys, my name's Dave. I'm gonna be doing this stunt." Oh my god!
My leg is flopping off.
Did you hear about the one about the boyfriend girlfriend that the gun
Desert Eagle in the book?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
Okay, there's a lot of stupid things about that story, right? But the most stupid thing about that whole story is they did not do a test fire.
They did.
They
did. They said they did. They did. They did it once.
All it takes is one test fire to know that you can't stop a 50 caliber Desert Eagle round with a book, unless the book is like, the Encyclopedia Britannica, 800 pages thick.
Yeah, exactly, Rocktism. That's exactly how it is, and I mean, we did it once before, or we didn't. We just thought, I could stop it with 300 pages. No, you're not going to stop something at that closer range.
I had a canteen in my breast pocket. I thought it would stop the bullet like in the movies. Yeah, that's terrible. I can't imagine that. That's like the worst thing.
And again, I think that now media is bringing more attention to that.
And it's encouraging it to more of it.
Well, I think it's media is trying to bring it to light to kind of discourage it. But I think that is having the adverse effect where they're like, I can get a whole bunch of likes if I just do this.
It's that same instinct that caused us to do bad things when we were kids. Is like, you're not supposed
I'm going to do hood rat things with my friends.
The more you're not supposed to do it, the more you're like, I don't care about the rules. And everyone's like, oh, he's such a badass. He doesn't care about the rules. But I can't imagine, like, this pregnant girl, kills her loving boyfriend, like, by her own hands for attention.
Yep.
The most tragic thing I can possibly imagine. When I worked at a gun store, they had a picture on the wall of someone firing a Desert Eagle, and it was at the moment, and the muzzle flash is literally like as big as the person.
But it's insane. Have you seen the one of the like? Again, I think that because of social media and everything. Mm-hmm. People are trying to make it more of a general thing. Like this is what I do. Huh? Look how witty I am. Look how funny I am. Did you ever see the video of the guy at a gun range where he has a gun? He has a gun and he has the phone in front of him. He's taking selfies, and he looks over at his friend and he holds the gun at his friend's head, and he's taking a selfie. As soon as he points, and the gun range officer, he
tackles the gun out of his hand.
He was really quick about it. He saw the guy go like this and just immediately slams the guy's hand down, and the guy, his friend's over there like reloading his gun, not seeing what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, and then he, the safety officer pins it again and tells him go. Yeah. He pretty much field strips the gun. It's like, go, get out. Good for him, because again, he's trying to take pictures so he could share onto. I'm thinking on Instagram and on social media to be like, oh, look how witty I am, look how funny I am.
People die like that all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, not to mention there's suicide by gun range is a thing.
Yes,
murder suicide by gun range.
Yeah, murder suicide at a gun range. That's a thing. A few years back we had that mom and son here, and. It's good for
negligent discharges too at gun shows and stuff like that.
It's good that the safety officer was there and he was quick about it. He was doing it because the guy didn't look like he had any kind of trigger control. Exactly, trigger discipline.
He has booger hook on the bang switch.
Yeah, exactly. And I've gone shooting. I own guns, and it's just like the first thing that my dad taught me was trigger discipline. Mm-hmm. You don't put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to kill something.
See, my parents were strictly violently anti-gun, and I still know trigger discipline.
Yeah, exactly, Fletch. That's the thing. Do it for the gram. Do it for the gram.
Yeah, right.
And that
the gram needs you.
That's
the gram
the whole
needs
thing.
you.
That's the whole thing. And again, I don't think that this stuff didn't happen before.
Yeah,
I think that now it's a medium. Now we have mediums that people can share what they are doing.
Yeah.
Than never before.
I know that this happened before because I have a story of it happening before.
Yeah.
My grandpa was in the living room of the house that I grew up in before I was born, cleaning a revolver. And my grandma was like, don't do that in here. You're gonna, you're gonna kill somebody. He was like, it's not loaded, and pointed it at the front door. Boom!
Yep.
On the front door.
Yep, exactly. And
what if he was like, it's not loaded? And people do that shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. People do stupid stuff like that, and I don't know. Let nature take its course.
Yeah.
Weed out the weak. It's
social Darwinism again.
Exactly.
I mean, at some point you have to concede that you can't save everyone. You know what I mean? Like when you see something wrong, you just be like, oh well, there's another thing that's wrong. I can't do anything about it.
Right.
And that's another problem with like the 24-hour media cycle, and Facebook is like they're getting everybody so fired up about shit that they cannot control or cannot do anything about. It's like, just chill out.
Yeah.
Just don't watch those stories.
Trying to think of other thing, because I was actually like, it's interesting that you bring up this conversation about social media and all this stuff, and I think it's the same that like I literally just had this conversation with my parents about how people are sharing their politics, people are sharing this stuff on a much bigger platform. It's not that it wasn't there before, it's just that they have a bigger podium to stand on,
and there's a lot more interaction. Before it was like write a letter to the editor, send it out, and it's gone. Now it's like real time arguments, shouting matches, internet shouting matches, and
who could type caps the loudest.
Right.
I like to type in all Comic Sans, that way I'm serious.
Also, toxic anonymity is like the shit that you say to people that you disagree with over the internet is way different than the stuff that you say to people that you disagree with in person. You know what I mean? Right. And I'm just as guilty as anybody else, where it's like, you just show, what's the term, show your ass or whatever, just fucking cut loose and be an idiot.
And that's the damn truth, Rocktism, exactly. So I was always taught, about gun safety is you do not point a gun at something unless you intend to kill it.
Right.
So do not, and that's
I did it once, but the gun wasn't loaded, and I knew it wasn't loaded. But a lot of people think that you drop the magazine and the gun's not loaded. They don't realize how guns work. They don't know that they've chambered a bullet. Yeah. And that happens way more than people.
Exactly.
That's probably I would say that's the number one cause of like negligent, death is like thinking a gun's not loaded because you don't know how
a gun works.
Magazines and chambers work.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just want to touch up on that gun safety. Another PSA.
Yeah. Don't booger hook on the bang switch unless you intend to kill what you're, pointing it at.
Yeah. But yeah, anonymity gives people,
free rein,
homeboy sitting in his mom's basement,
Well, that's the other thing too.
Talking about how he's owed something or
right.
Or
the demographic of people that get out of control on all political spectrums. There's not just two. Is the dissatisfied single, usually male, usually 20 to 40 or something like that, and like at some point there's this weird disconnect where they just don't care anymore, and that's what I think incels are. Is like, who in their right mind would want to self-identify in a community of people who cannot get laid? You know what I mean? Like, that's when you've really kind of checked out. You're making it someone else's fault that they're what they are.
Right. I don't think that. Yeah. I don't know. That's a touchy subject, I feel, with I don't know, because I have my opinions about that, and it's not
specifically, or
yeah, it's not good. But like, what my opinion is about the incels, because some of them believe, and I wouldn't say some of them, because I'm very biased as to the stuff that I see, because I try not to get involved in that group, but it's just like the stuff that I see is a large majority of them feel that rape is a viable solution, that they these women deserve to be raped and stuff like that, and I'm not cool with that.
Yeah, no, me neither. They think that there's entitlement. There's blaming other people for what they themselves are incapable of doing, and it's just so baffling. But the weird thing is like there's so many people that feel not maybe that exact way, but like disenfranchised, hopeless, helpless, powerless, and like the internet is so bad for those people. It's like they need to be not there. They need to be somewhere else.
It's just work on your social skills, shower. And I understand. You
got to do the best you can with what you've got, right?
I'm not the most social.
What life is, period.
I'm not the most social person. Shit, that's how because I don't go out or anything like that. I end up meeting Kate on Tinder because I was just like,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm extremely busy.
It's 2019.
Yeah, exactly.
It's current year.
I'm extremely busy with work, my martial arts.
Yeah, you are busy. I keep trying to find time with you, and it's like, we'll find time later.
No, I mean, well, you never text me. I text you whenever we have to do the show. That's the only time we text.
Anyways, I had 4 days off this week, and we didn't do anything. I have tomorrow off too, but we'll get to that later.
But it was like, I was like, okay, well, let me go on to Tinder. And it's like, I met some people, and I met Kate. And life's been hell since then. So Kate's not listening.
She's ruined my life, and now I'm an incel.
And Kate's not listening.
I own guns, and I'm gonna go. No,
and it's like that's how I did it again. But
yeah, it's crazy. You're right. So many of their like core beliefs are just completely unacceptable.
It's like, why do you? It's very easy. Again, I'm not the most social person. I don't go out to the bars and meet people like that. So I could still hold a conversation with somebody. I can still, again, that I think that these people who feel like they're owed something, they're just not, completely barring any kind of mental disability,
which there's a lot of
anything like that. The people who say that they are owed this, that these people should be raped. No, what you need to work on is your social skills. Yeah. You need to put yourself out there and and be able to talk to these people.
Well, I think in their mind is if you decide that you have lived to X years without acquiring these skills, it's never going to happen, and it's not your fault, it's someone else's fault, and it's just a cop-out. It's like you don't have to accept responsibility if you just say things are the way they are. Have you seen the videos where they go and they set up a date with someone using fake info, they catfish them, and then they show up in person and they're like, I got you. Have you seen those videos where it's like, They're sharing these videos.
Are these incels?
Yeah, I think so. I'm getting this down the podcast grapevine, so I don't know like all the original context, but it's basically like an incel catfished someone, videotaped it, trying to show it to the incel community to say that she is the bad person for wanting to meet with this other person who doesn't exist instead of him. And it's like, no, where are you? Where's the pride of this situation? Like, what are you proud of to share this?
Yeah, catfishing is one thing too. It's like I did the Tinder thing. It's like I met a couple people on there, and I've been
catfished on there.
That's one thing that I've always been. I was really scared of was the catfish, because I feel like everybody made like catfishing me like it was like so.
It was almost like a game
so out
for
there.
Some people.
It's
popular.
People were like, I got catfish. Like I never once got catfish, and I guess that I'm just the exception that I never got catfish.
A lot of them, it's just a form of advertising. They're like, they get you to a certain point of like talking to you, and then they're like, if you want to see my pictures, you have to go to this website, and it's like, shit, this isn't a real person.
Well, apparently, I guess I'll wait till I get back. Sorry guys.
We'll fix this. We're still got our training wheels on.
Oh, apparently, like a big thing that like people are doing now, I guess, on Tinder, because I haven't been on Tinder in a while since I was at
Obviously,
Kate.
You're not single anymore. Same.
A big thing now is like them putting Venmo and PayPal is like pay me in advance. Like, you're a prostitute. You're a prostitute. That's what it is. You're a prostitute.
For males seeking females, there is the prostitution Venmo interaction, but the other way around, females seeking males, there's a lot of like, I could come visit you if I just had a ticket, or I can't pay my rent this month, and then they're like, we've been talking for 6 months, I feel really emotionally attached to you, I'm gonna Venmo you this money, and that's just like, the internet is just so scummy in so many different ways. Have you ever had your credit card information stolen? Have you ever?
Yes, I've had my card used.
Me too.
Once, but my bank is really good about fixing that.
I've had debit and credit stolen. They both handle it differently. Eventually, both were handled. I've bought stuff from websites that turned out to be like fake websites, and they just don't send you anything, and there was no transaction, and there's no because they were in Canada, there's no like recourse or something like that. It's pretty crazy how many different.
What Roxism just said, Venmo as a cash apps are usually send me money to see what happens, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Or they want sugar daddy relationships, which the sugar daddy relationship is. There are special dating services for stuff like that, which, I'm not a part of because I can't afford that shit.
Yeah, no.
But it, when you're listening. When you're listening, I'm looking for a sugar, I want a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship. Mm-hmm. There is a specific person seeking that out, and they know going into it what they want.
I think in those relationships, both of them want it too. The guy,
exactly.
The guy gets off like feeling powerful, feeling wealthy.
Right, exactly.
Wanting it in a certain way. That's the same reason why people gamble.
Have arm candy. That's it. They have their arm candy. Here's somebody older. Or not the best looking, and they just have this arm candy, and it's cool. But,
have you heard of Ashley Madison?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like a side piece wants an ice.
Well, Ashley Madison was kind of like like the same thing as Tinder was, like a dating service. Yeah, exactly.
But specifically for
was it sugar daddies?
Yeah, it's specifically for wealthy men seeking either side pieces or like no strings attached relationships that involve buying them things.
Yeah, I didn't know. I knew of Ashley Madison just because of their security breach and how exactly. If everybody that in the IT world, they had to like do a whole bunch of fixes to prevent something like that happening. But when you see that kind of stuff, it's kind of like you should know, okay, this person just wants this, whatever. But the If they explicitly say, I'm looking for a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, cool, whatever. I'm just going to skip right over you.
Yeah,
but,
pretty much.
You're saying, oh, send me money and we'll see what happens. You're pretty much an e-prostitute. That's what it is.
There's Craigslist prostitution.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I think that.
I'll hang out with you for 100 roses an hour.
Yeah, I was bored one night. I think I was when we were living together. Mm-hmm. And I was.
So you were scoping for prostitutes, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. I was scoping for prostitutes. Robbie was scoping for prostitutes. No, I think I was bored one night, and after
There's
playing
a lot of crazy shit on there if you go down the
exactly. I was after playing Call of Duty. I was just like, well, let me just see what this M4W and like W4M and like I'm just curious. Let me go through all these things. Holy shit! Were there a lot of stuff there, and it was just nuts.
That's again goes back to the auto shop. There was the auto shop one of the auto shops I worked at was in a bad part of town, and there was like women of the night walking the street.
Yeah,
and we could literally go and like see their Craigslist. Like one of the mechanics was like, "You see that girl right there?" I'm like, yeah, this is her profile. Like, are you kidding me? This is crazy.
Yeah, and sorry to go on to what Rotism over here is talking about.
Yeah, I got one for Adam too.
Talking about the girls who have the pay me money and we'll see what happens. And I think that a lot of the stuff is these guys that do pay a lot of money for some of the, I mean, I'm not saying all of them, some of them are probably really looking for something with this person and they're not getting anything. Mm-hmm. But it also goes to, from what I see from streaming and the female streamers, mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of people spend a lot of money on female streamers, and then they find out that this person has a boyfriend, has a husband, and they're like, "What?
I wasted thousands of dollars on you. Exactly. I'm gonna go follow this other streamer now. I just gave her $30."
Right, exactly. And I've seen that. We're like, how can you just lead us on? How can you let?
There's thousands of. I have 30,000 fans on right now. You think I'm dating all of them? Like, you're crazy.
But no, and that's the thing. I think that they are trying to pay him and trying to be like, well, see, I'm superior. I got more money than you. You should come date me. But it's like, no, like, I'm sorry, but you're just you're just a number to this person.
It's a strange mindset. I don't understand throwing money at strangers. Like, I understand Patreons. You're providing a product. I like the product. I want to see more of it. I'll support it. But I don't understand you're pretty, here's money.
Rocktism, you better not pay for those pics.
Yeah, end of relationship. You're pretty, here's money.
You better not pay for those pics.
When there's so much, like,
I'll be so mad at you.
Like, you can't keep a porno magazine in business because nobody wants to pay for porno. So why would you pay for that? Why would you pay for, some booby girl you'll never talk to in person? But somebody said on here earlier, if you saw it on a podcast, it must be true. Well, it was a video. I saw a video of.
Yeah, I think that was Adam.
That's why I know what the guy said, because I saw him literally catching this girl and being like, "Oh, what's it? A gotcha moment? Like, I got you. No, you got yourself. You're not proving anything to anybody."
Right, and catfishing somebody in a way that's like, "Oh, I completely send you a completely different photo." but also there's catfishing as to I photoshopped the living shit out of my photo.
Yeah.
And it's been like filtered to holy hell. I've got in the picture
Very
I've lost
strategically taken.
exactly in the picture I've lost 30 pounds magically. No, it's I think it's the same thing. And I mean I want to say that I was catfished like that way because there was one girl that's like she had like the MySpace angles.
Yeah, right.
She had the MySpace angles, and then when I met her, I was like, "That's not what I imagined."
To be fair, also sometimes people like they go through a point of their life where they're taking a lot of photos, but that point was like 5 years ago, so they just really haven't taken photos. Any good photos since then.
So apparently, there's a term for it called kitten fishing, where you have strong filters, Photoshop, or old photos. Today I learned. Yeah. Well, I did not know that. Thank you.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
it's not as bad, so it's kitten.
Yeah, and I think that's the only time. But I talked to her for a little bit, and I understood where she was coming from. She was actually losing weight, and she had lost a lot of weight, but it's just like she had the angles that kind of made it look.
I see what you're saying too. It's not like you are being unfair when it comes to body types and body positivity. It's just not your type, and it's also not what you like. We're meeting.
Right. No. We
like a dishonest.
We went out on a couple dates. She was a very nice girl.
Mm-hmm.
She had a very nice personality. But again, I was expecting X and came out Z.
I think also you're expecting X and it came out Z, but there's also a Y, which would be an acceptable amount of like an understandable amount of kitten fishing. It's like
I think that's
kind of.
I think that's where it was.
Everyone's kind of shining up the turd that is their life when it comes to social networking, and you're putting your best face forward.
Right. So I think that's where it was. I think it was Y because it was like okay, I understand. You're not. You definitely looked skinnier in the photo. But okay, and then I understood her story. She was losing weight and all that stuff.
But
again,
it's a question of skinny. Also,
right.
It's a question of honesty.
Right, exactly. She had the angles that made her look a certain way, and she wasn't that way. I guess
if you're gonna found a friendship or a hookup or a deep relationship or anything on dishonesty, that's already like step one, first step off the bat. Not a good idea.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for a hookup and you're on dishonesty, does it really matter? It's a hookup.
Yeah,
man.
I don't know. I've never really done
a hookup.
I've never done the internet hookup. I've done the known you for a while, both intended to end a party, hookup, but even then that was only like once.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's complicated to like get close to somebody that way, so I don't really want to complicate my life that much with like just a bunch of random people.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they've been. So so that's that.
That's icky. I don't know where you've been.
It's yucky, honey.
Yeah, no.
I love the honey, but it's Henny.
Henny?
Yeah,
like the Hennessy?
Like, no, it's like the John Van Ness Game of Thrones Henny. I don't know. It's funny. Another thing I love is I love your guts. I love your guts.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, you obviously don't have a gay hairdresser like I do.
Yeah.
But
does this look like I have a hairdresser?
No, I don't.
Like I'm losing. I can see in the camera right here. I was like showing off like part of my bald spot.
No, I've got the same thing going on. I just have more hair right now. But anyways, I need to get shaved on the sides because I had my gray.
Yeah.
I live with someone who went to beauty school and I can't get a haircut. Come on.
But I'm trying to think of like anything else like that. Catfishing and all that stuff. I mean, we kind of pretty much stayed on the same topic. Just kind of evolved like the topic.
Yeah, that's how
further,
it goes. It's a stream of consciousness. The catfish that I got, I was kind of like in between relationships and I didn't really want a serious thing. And I got to talking to this person because I don't even know if it was a male or female or anything. And it was like exchanging letters that got kind of increasingly more personal.
Yeah.
And it was more of like a I don't want to say like sexting, but it was like flirting. So it was more than a hookup. It was like leading towards the hookup. And then it was like, oh, go to this website and see my pics. And I was like, you fucker. This was never like a match or a conversation at all. This was just an advertisement. It's just an ad bot that exchange a couple emails.
Yeah, I luckily never had that.
This was also, I don't know, this was a while ago, so I think that online dating might have been very different then. There might not be the same kind of like interactions or swipe rights, now that there would have been back then.
Yeah, it's just I was listening to talk radio earlier this week, and they were talking about how relationships with millennials are going down, like that, like less people are dating, because of money.
I'm against like millennial smearing and like, oh my gosh, millennial clickbait headlines, but I think that there is actually a lot of substance to what you just said.
But it wasn't like, yeah, I guess it was a clickbait kind of thing, but the thing is that they were talking about, less and less millennials are dating because of financial reasons, and that could be it. And then they start.
Culture is definitely changing. And then a lot of the younger people that I talk to, that their longest relationship is like 2 months.
Right, and then they started talking about how easy it is to meet a hookup on like Tinder and stuff like that. You don't need to.
I see what you're saying though. You can just reset. You can just I don't like where this relationship's going. Reset new relationship.
Right, exactly.
Like that easy. Click a button. Swipe a swipe.
But you go on Tinder and I don't think that so Tinder, obviously the connotation that people have with Tinder is it's a hookup app, which is honestly the connotation that I had.
But I think also sometimes is like it's almost like speed dating in a way, like go out, have dinner, maybe hook up, and if you guys actually seem to be pretty compatible, then maybe do it until it becomes a relationship.
But the thing that like the way I was introduced to Tinder was obviously through the internet, was with Reddit and all stuff, and all these pictures that was like, here you go, here's a cheesy pickup line, oh my god, here's my phone number, wanna fuck, like that's like what?
That's a guy with like his abs.
That's like
so many pictures of guys like with their abs out.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about the actual conversation where they're like, after they did the whole matching, swipe right, okay, like I said, it's somebody did a cheesy pickup line. The person responded, "Oh, here's my phone number. Wanna fuck?" And like that was yes, let's do it. So it's like that was like the whole conversation, and that was
for a lot of people. The time is an issue too, where it's like I have shit going on in my life. I have to go to the gym. I have the job. I just need I don't have time for a relationship. I just need.
But I didn't think about Tinder is a but Tinder markets itself as an actual dating service, like Match.com or any of these other things.
Do they have like personality profiles where you match up like based on compatibility?
No, it just throws you. It just throws you in. It shows you everybody in the area, and it's just like, here's their profile, here's a couple photos. Decide what you want to do with it, and
it shows you how familiar I am with Tinder. Like I think when I was single, it was like Plenty of Fish was the thing.
When I did the Plenty of Fish thing, and I got jack shit. It was just a bunch of bots. It was just a bunch of bots just sending out automated messages, and I was just like, this is not that. No. But once like I said, once my ex and we split, and that's when I was getting into the thick of me competing my work.
I see what you're saying though. How are you supposed to meet women with your current life? You have not call center, but data center work with coworkers. You have competing, martial arts where you're probably not going to meet anybody,
Yeah, and Rocktism, that's pretty much how I did it, where Kate and we started talking, and it was probably about a good week that we were talking back and forth. Also, it just happened to be I was in Hawaii at the time that I was leaving for Hawaii when she and I matched. I talked to her one day, and then like the next day I'm in Hawaii, and she's like, "What the fuck? You're 4,000 miles away. What happened?" Because it shows you how far.
Oh yeah,
it shows you how far you are from the person that you're talking to. And it was
like, are you fucking with me, dude?
At first it was 10. At first I was like, oh, this person's 10 miles away from you. All of a sudden this person's 4,000 miles away from you.
Don't waste my time.
But of course, with the city that we're in and everything, a lot of people are visiting, and they just want to hook up while they're on vacation or whatever. And that's what it says in Orlando on vacation. Yeah. Let's meet. Let's have some fun.
A lot of my stories start with when I worked at blank. When I worked at the parks, a lot of the parks have like a boat that goes from the park to the hotels or to the trams or whatever. And literally guys that I worked with would wait at the boat and like pick up one night stands. Because they're there for a vacation or they're there with their family and they don't want to go back to the hotel room with their stinky family and in a 4 people in 2 beds.
Well, Rocktism, I haven't catfished you yet. You haven't figured it out.
Yeah, he said I was bi. I guess he's talking about my shirt comment. I'm not talking about me strolling through guy pictures. I'm saying that's how guys pick up girls. It's like, look at my chest.
Yeah, no, and yeah, Fletch. So I girls in the IT industry, it's crazy. Like I feel kind of bad for them. I mean, I shouldn't say I feel kind of bad. I do feel bad for them because if there is any kind of female
they're swarmed.
Exactly, they are swarmed, like literally, and it's just like suffocating. And some of the people, I where I work, there are actually a lot more females in not in my department, but in the other IT departments. Like there are other females, and there are some of them that they just want to be left alone.
It's like the gamer girl mentality, right? It's like, oh, I found one.
Right.
It has to be mine.
But here's the thing. There was one girl that used to work there that she got a new job, and there was one guy that was always just like sitting on her desk talking to her, flirting with her, and
You're so funny.
and whenever he would leave, she'd be like, oh my god, get him the fuck away.
Yeah.
But then there's other girls that I could tell that they feed on it.
So they're in an industry that's going to give them a lot of attention.
Exactly, yeah. And they feed on that. So it's like some of the girls I feel bad for, the ones that are like, okay, this is overwhelming, and
shy.
And yeah, I used to go to different LAN centers, and whenever a girl walk in, it would be like,
yeah, I know.
It'd be that record scratch,
dude,
and then everybody.
Dude, I've walked into like board game places or like Magic the Gathering places, and it's like everybody turns around and it's literally all males, and you're there with your girlfriend, and it's like, how did you do it?
Yeah,
because I think I said this in one of the earlier episodes. Is like, you got to rein yourself in. You can't. Your whole life can't be this thing. Like, this is not how you're going to develop your put on your best face and develop your social skills and be presentable.
Yeah.
And I saw this. You ever watch JonTron's videos?
No.
His latest video was like a games dev competition where they had two teams making a game in like 6 hours, and one of the girls on the team was like a Dutch girl who was pretty cute, and I was like, man, she has got to be. I was like, I know if I scroll down in the comments, it's gonna be hundreds of people like, yo, let me get her number.
Well, there was a post on Reddit, something similar to that. This girl had made a arcade game for a museum, and she was all proud of it. She was like, me and a couple other people.
But I made this thing that I'm
exactly.
proud of.
Like she was a good looking girl, and she posted a photo of her standing with her arcade machine. She's like, after thousands of lines of code, my thing is finally up, and the thread was completely. What?
Why does it need thousands of lines of code? Like, what does it do?
I'm just curious. I don't know the game, but I just came across it because the thread was locked, and as soon as I saw that the thread on Reddit was locked, I knew what it was. Then I started scrolling through, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, you people!
What is wrong with us?
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
but like, I understand being thirsty, but like, what do you think being thirsty on the internet is going to achieve? Like these, like send Bob's, show me your vagine guys. It's like, why would you hit up a girl in another country and be like, I want to have sex with you? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, they're going to be like, he's so charming. I'm all yours.
Yeah. Ratism. And that's like my advice to people whenever somebody has asked me, oh, well, I like this person, but everybody's swarming. It's like, just treat her like she's a person.
Yeah. It's the same thing in, Twitch or YouTube. It's like they're so used to this kind of crazy, worshipful, anonymous obsession that you really just need to talk to them. Like, geez, just talk to them.
Just talk to them, be polite, and that's it. And just treat them like a human being. And then, and that goes into, again, that's kind of like the incel thing that they're like, oh, well, let me smother this person. Oh, she went off with them. Fuck you.
Oh my God.
You deserve to be raped. Like, no.
I had a similar situation, to toot my own horn. I don't know if you were there at the show, but we did a show, and this girl was like, oh my God, yeah. And then she was like, you did so great, after like touching me on the arm and everything, and like, and then I was like, hey, thanks, And then we get my girlfriend, and it was like, oh, like, how dare you not like pick me up right now?
I think there were a couple of times that, like, some drunk girls would come up to Mike and me or like,
and then after the next band went up, the next singer goes up and she's like, yeah, she's like, look at me like, no, I'm about him now. Yeah, you're the sexiest.
Yeah,
just because I was like not picking up what she was throwing down.
Yeah,
it's funny. People are weird. People are so thirsty.
But at the same time, like, I've seen girls do the same. Exactly. I guess what we're talking about, talking about guys smothering girls. Also, I've seen the girls smothering guys.
But girls are, like, in general, don't seem to be like the hunter per se when it comes to like matchmaking?
Well, no, there was one girl that like she was very interested in me. I don't want to toot my own horn like you know.
Yeah. But let's do it. I did it. You do it. Let's do it.
No.
Back when we were good looking. Okay.
It was one. No, this is when I was fat. But she.
Okay.
But yeah, we just happened to have comic books in common, and she hung out at the comic book store and stuff like that, and she would always want to go out.
A girl works in the comic book store.
Yeah, that's the same thing. And she we started going out to like different bars and stuff, and she would want to come along, and she would show up and stuff like that. And there were times I'm like, fuck, she's showing up. She like, who told her that I was gonna be here? Fuck. But yeah, again, same thing where the girl can be smothering the guy, guy can be smothering.
Well, it's definitely more rare for a girl to find a guy who likes comics and be like, oh my gosh, you like comics too? Because there's way more guys that are really deeply into comic culture than there are girls. Yeah. Just like, by math. But yeah, I like Rocktism's his dating. Yeah, you should definitely get to know somebody, because why would you, like, imagine if you went on Tinder and you hooked up with a girl and it was the best sex you ever had in your life, and you wanted more of it and she wanted more of it, and then you find out that you're not compatible, and then you have to be like, do I want to keep suffering through this person just for a sec? You know what I mean? It's like, it's so complicated. Better to find someone compatible to have, because you're gonna have to be around them anyways, right? You're gonna have to spend time with them. You're not just gonna like show up and bang and leave instantly. There's gonna be like, talking, sleeping, waking up, eating, hanging out.
But I mean, if you're just looking for the hookup, then whatever.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
If you're just looking for the hookup, whatever. Bang, high five, and walk away.
That seems so cold, though. It seems like
it's to each their own. Again, there are the people that my body is my temple. I will do with it as I please. This is what pleases me. I will do it. Okay, cool.
I'm not even like, a lot of people think that we're just judging the women. I'm not judging them at all. I'm judging myself. Like, I would be.
No, I'm judging all people that. No, I don't judge people.
No, I mean, just for me, that would be kind of like cutting away the potential for like. Yeah. Even just good conversation. Like, right. You could have great friendship with this person.
But there are people that want more body to something rather than a one night stand, rather than a hook or a hookup. There are people that want that substance. They want that relationship. They want that partnership.
Even,
they want that.
Even just like a cool, good time. You know what I mean? Just like telling jokes and making each other laugh.
So are we dating?
I guess so. Yeah, apparently I'm bi. So.
There's that. It's out there, guys. We have cool, good times. We make each other laugh.
If someone, oh my gosh, I didn't even know. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna tell my parents?
Yeah. When's our anniversary?
Yeah, you tell me. You remember this stuff better than me. I'm terrible with time. Time is just such a like abstract concept to me.
Oh my god, such a hippie.
I mean, kind of, sort of, not really.
Time is fleeting.
No, I can go like weeks without even knowing what the day of the week is, or I can go. People will be like,
I've had that happen.
Even important life events, they'll be like, how many years since blank and blank happened? I'd be like, you would think I would know that, but I don't. I'm just not one of those like really like, I don't know, what's it, type A people? I'm definitely more type B. Is that a thing?
I know that's a thing. I've never really looked into type A, type B. I've looked into the...
Type A is just more structured. You just have more... You're more goal-oriented. You're more, planned. And type B is just more kind of...
Ooh, that sounds like a good topic for next time. Yeah. I got something for next episodes now.
Ooh, baby.
But I've looked into like the personality stuff. Yeah, where it's like...
just like we talked about diet and medicine, these things are always evolving too. Yeah. There's people that would be like, oh, Myers-Briggs personality test, that's nonsense. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Freud's nonsense.
Is it Myers-Briggs with the INTP and all that stuff? Yeah, that's the one
FP.
Yeah, I've taken that. I am INTP. I know that much.
Yeah.
Because... Which I was surprised, but it makes sense. Introvert. I was like, okay.
Yeah, introvert, extrovert is the hardest thing for me to quantify, because sometimes I am very solitary, but I do enjoy, social interaction. I don't just necessarily don't seek it out. So it's kind of like, what does that? Yeah. What does that make you?
Yeah, my one of my old personal trainers, she was like, we talked about earlier, the whole horoscope kind of thing. That's one person got it right. They're like, oh, you
must be a Taurus.
Is that you must be this? I was like, yeah, actually, yeah. but she's like, and the thing is, like, she was my personal trainer, so she got to see me. She interacted with me, and she's like,
"Oh, you didn't just work out and bang it out and leave?
No.
You actually like talked to her?
No. That was after I was done with it. No, we never banged.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like anything you do with other people is an opportunity to interact with them. You know what I mean? Like, if working out can form a working relationship, then banging can form a working relationship too.
She was like, after like a few weeks of working out, she was like really into the whole Myers-Briggs thing, and she was like, "Oh, I think that you're INTP." And I was like, "What's that mean?" And she sent me. Yeah, it's like she sent me the test. Introvert.
T is thinking and P is perceiving. I don't know. I know F is feeling.
Damn, I can't remember.
It's been a long time since high school.
But I took the test and I was like, holy shit, yeah, INTP. And then she explained to me like how it was, and I was like, she's like, once you're comfortable with the person,
then you're open with them.
You're open with them.
Makes sense.
But until then, you're pretty much very closed off, and that's when I was dating my ex, and I was like, yes, I was very closed off.
I wonder if it would be changed now if we took them.
INFJ, that's it. Nice. So I know that ENTP and INFJ are the ones that I get along with most, apparently. Because ENTP, they're the extrovert side of me, so they bring. I want to say they'll be able to bring out
that I might be that. It's been a long time.
Like she was. I'm not sure if she was trying to hook me up with somebody, one of her other clients or whatever. But
this whole conversation was just her trying to get
right. Exactly.
Throw a bone to her friend.
She was like, "Oh, you should meet so and so. She's or you should. You're a perfect match for so and so because she's ENTP. So she would be able to bring you out while you can take her in." And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
I kind of appreciate this conversation you're having with her though, because it's based on like medical study and pure like trials and stuff to create these categories. So it's not like her saying, "Oh, you're a Gemini, you should date her because she's a Leo." And it's just like at least she's saying something that has
I'll be like, no, I don't give a fuck about my Myers-Briggs. Tell me what her astrological sign is. Then we'll go.
Look at the time.
Oh god, clip. I gotta look at the clip later. But
yeah, we're a little bit behind on that access.
Yeah, it's already 11:30.
Time flies.
Yeah, man, time flies when we're not having fun.
Time flies when we're giving each other handies under the table because we're bi.
David.
I didn't go far enough today to embarrass myself. I had to go, say some edgy stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's what I do it for now.
Yeah, that's a good ending note.
Because Dave's getting a little weird.
Climax is a good place to end.
I hate you. But yeah, we should be back on tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We'll be back on next Thursday.
Yes, sir.
I think I have some stuff to talk about for next week, so we'll talk about that. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Take care.
Everybody have a good night.